Boy,
All right, so here we are, live on YouTube. Welcome one and all to the Blackwood. So really quickly, let's go through and introduce ourselves. You can say your name and your character. And let's start with Charlie and go in alphabetical order for first names.
Charlie Wine, Agalaz, Albaz, Alfheimer, or Eggle.
Now, Derek, you're up.
Oh, DU's after season. I'm Derek. Character is Jan, son of Jan. It's a lot less of a mouthful.
And then Kyle.
My name is Kyle, and my character is Bress, the elf-marked brute.
Wonderful. All right, so. All right, well, we'll have one more person joining us shortly, and until then, we will talk a little bit about the Blackwood. So, for those of you tuning in, it looks like we have 4 viewers, so welcome. We're very happy to have you right now. And so the Blackwood is a setting that I've been working on for a few years. I intend to do a lot more work on it this year. And it's a magical forest inspired by Grimm's fairy tales and wuxia films like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, House of Flying Daggers, that sort of thing, the really epic stuff. And so, yeah, we're going to get our adventure kicked off here pretty soon. Let me make sure, check in on this other guy really quick. Well, he's having trouble getting in, so I'm going to give him a link really quick, and then we will be good to go. All right, so for some of you, this is the first time ever coming to the Blackwood. For some of you, you've been here many times before. Regardless, we're going to have ourselves a fun time. Did any of you guys read the introductory Choose Your Own Adventure thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys know generally what the setup is like for our adventure right now. You know what happened in the moments just before. And all right, so first of all, this little critter that has been plaguing you as you try to defend the caravan looks like this little dude. Let me see if I can screen share it with you. Yeah. So this is what the creature looks like. Some of you would know it to be called a collar, which is a type of elf whose only mission is to entice you to come into the wilderness or drive you into the wilderness if you will not be enticed. So you guys are there. You are in a caravan that consists of 4 wagons, and pretty much immediately the people that are driving the wagons signal, and they slap the oxen with the reins, and they charge off into the distance down this forest path. So right away, we are going to do some initiative, and we're going to jump into a chase. So Gavin is still having some trouble getting in. He says that it just keeps ringing.
What's the creature called again?
Caller.
Now, are you cool with us rolling our own dice?
Absolutely, yeah. And so the way, I don't know if you guys are familiar with chase rules for Savage Worlds, but basically what's going to happen, there are certain people who are driving the wagons, and those people are going to make driving checks if they have those skills. Anyone else, this isn't the standard rule for chase scenes, but anyone else who's like on one of the wagons is going to make an agility check to be able to maneuver around on them and be able to like attack these wolf apes that are attacking you. In order to do initiative, you're going to make your trait check. So for all of you guys, it'll be an agility check. And then depending on how many successes you get, that's how many cards you will draw. And basically, you'll just go with whichever card is highest out of the ones that you draw. So let's go in alphabetical order down here. So Charlie, let me know what you rolled.
All right. Agility is a D8.
Yeah, your agility should be yeah, D8, and you'll also roll your D6 wild die.
Which is the D4 or D6?
D6. Yeah.
All right. My D8 was a 5. My D6 was a 2.
Okay, so you'll go with the 5. That is a success. It's not a raise, so you just get one card.
Mm-hmm.
And your card is going to be, ooh, a Joker. All right. So, Jokers are special. If you draw a Joker, you can go at any point in the initiative order, and you get +2 to every single one of your checks this round. And so, Derek, what about you?
I got a 3 and a 2.
A 3 and a 2. You can spend bennies to reuse them. You have 3 bennies to start off with.
Okay. So I re-roll both of them?
Yeah.
Did you say I get 3 bennies or 4 bennies to start with?
You get 4 because you're a wood folk. Thanks for reminding me.
Okay. Okay, I got an 8 on my D8, so roll that
That
again.
explodes. Yeah, go ahead and roll that again.
And a 5.
So that's going to be 13 total.
13. Yeah.
So that's 1, 2, 3 successes. So you get 3 cards. And this is what you have to choose from. You've got
I'll take the king.
the king. Good thinking. All right. Okay, so we've got that. Gavin, welcome back. So, here we're going to go, and now let's go ahead and do Kyle. You make your maneuvering check. And Gavin, what we're looking for right now is an agility check.
I got a 3 and a 2, so I'm gonna blast a Benny.
All right.
And I got a 7 on the D8.
Nice. 7 on the D8, so that's 1 success. So you get a 5 of hearts. And then, Gavin, what is yours? You're muted, I think.
Does this include a wild dice?
It does, yeah. Every time you roll, you'll roll one of your wild dice as well.
I got 5.
5? Okay. So that's 1 success for you too, and so your card is, ooh, it's a 7, but it's also a club, and a club means that there's a complication. So that means there's a major obstacle that you have to deal with. Objects of some sort get in the way, make a trait roll at -2 to avoid them, or suffer damage appropriate to half top speed if in a vehicle. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and roll the same agility check for the bad guys. And so to set the scene here, you guys are rocketing down this forest path. The trees are overhead. It's late afternoon at this point. And like I mentioned, there are 4 wagons in this caravan. And of those 4 wagons, 3 of them take off. The wagon in the back doesn't take off. One of the wolf apes actually jumps out of the trees and just tackles the driver. And so that wagon is left in the dust. That does mean, unfortunately, that some of the cargo that you guys are ferrying from Span to High Hall will not make it all the way. But you do notice that there are still some errants who are back in the wagon, so it's possible that they might defend the wagon and bring it to you guys at a later point. As you guys rocket off, I'll go ahead and show you what the wolf apes look like as well. So this is what we're working with here. Yeah, so these guys, the only change that you should imagine is that the face, the skin part of the face, is bright red instead of being that black color. But otherwise, that's what you're looking at. These guys are nasty. They love to run through the treetops in packs. They bay, they howl, and they like to go for weak spots as well. So look out for them. All right. So that's that, and the maneuvering check for the bad guys is a D8, and I got a 5, so that's 1 for me. Ooh, but they got an obstacle too. So initiative order at the end of the day is going to be, I'm going to say Derek first because he has a king, but Charlie, because you have a joker, you can jump in wherever you want.
Okay.
And then we're going to do Gavin, and then Kyle with the 5. Oh wait, Kyle, you got a
No, I got a 5.
yeah, that's right. And then Gavin, you were the one that got a 6, right?
I got a 7.
7. Okay. So it'll be, and I'm going to go ahead and switch to using character names at this point. So we're going to use Jan, and then Edmund, and then the Wolf Apes, and then Bress, and Eggle can jump in whenever he would like. So you're rocketing down here, and Gavin, why don't you go ahead? Actually, Derek, go ahead and take your action first. You have a king. So you are in short range to these wolf apes, and if you want, you can take an attack against them at no penalty.
Okay. I would assume that I already had my bow out from the opening Choose Your Adventure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then I am going to roll a shooting.
All right.
And I got a 5 on both of them. So
5 on both. Okay, well, all you needed was a 4 to hit, so go ahead and roll me some damage now.
okay, so that's I don't roll a wild die on damage, though, correct?
No, you still roll a wild die.
Okay, so it's 2d6, so I'll roll 3 and take the best of the 3.
That's 2, yeah.
Okay. Ooh, I got a 6, and before I explode that, I'm going to roll the other 2.
Sure.
A 2 and a 5. So we're rolling for the explosion and a 1. So 12.
A 1.
Yeah.
So you got 12 total. Okay, so that's a hit with 2 raises, so that's going to be 12 damage. Yeah, so one of them, like you get your arrow, you draw it back, you let go, it hits the guy. Where does it hit this guy?
Right in the chest. You know, I'm a hunter.
Right in the chest. All right. So it's like this thunk. It's a real thick, heavy sound, and this wolf ape just falls backwards out of the trees. Is there anything you guys want to be looking out for at this point? Is there anything you want to be doing?
Well, I'm yelling for Mutt to follow.
Okay.
Are we in the caravan that got taken down, or are we still in the ones that are going?
You're still in the ones that are going.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that was Jan's turn. Let's go ahead and do Edmund at this point.
So they're up in the trees. I can't like reach them, can I?
No, not unless. Well, you know, you've got a 7, and a 7 is long range, so it's a -4 to hit. Yeah, you aren't able to actually attack him right now.
Okay. Is there any way I can try slowing down the cart?
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
do
you
we
can
want
talk
to
the
barrel
driver.
through
The
them?
driver
I don't think we want to slow down the cart.
So are we? I don't really know what's going on, so.
Well, let me jump in. Let me jump in here because I'm long range.
Okay, sure.
Okay, I'm just gonna hold then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, how many are after us at this point?
Make a notice check for me.
Notice is D6 plus 2. Okay.
Is he listening for them so he gets his extra?
Well, no, the +2 won't apply in this
Is
case.
this a D6 plus 2 and a wild?
It'll be a D6 and a wild. You won't actually get the +2 because your +2 is healing based.
5 and 6. So 6 explodes.
Yeah.
2.
So that's an 8 total. So that's a success with a raise. You notice that there are, like, you do a quick count up in the trees, and there are 11 of these wolf apes chasing after you.
11.
And you can't see the caller, but you can hear its music, kind of tra-la-li-lay, not safe today, ba-da-da-da-da. Just very kind of lackadaisical.
Can I listen to see where? Can I use my, keen ear to find out where the caller is?
Yeah, go ahead. Give me a roll.
All right. So notice another D6 plus 2. So 5 and 3, and then so 5 would be a 7, right?
7 total, yeah.
And then keen ear gives me. Oh no, that's just notice right there. Okay.
Right, yeah. So you're training your ears on the forest around you in the midst of all of these wolf apes like howling and yipping in the trees above you, and you keep hearing the singing, and it doesn't sound like it's an echo, but it does sound like it's coming from multiple places. Like it's over here, and then all of a sudden it's over there, and what's going on? It's hard to tell. So you can't pinpoint it, but you got a joker, so you're definitely within striking range if you want to attack one of these things.
How many wolf apes were there?
11.
11, yeah. Although you guys haven't counted, so you don't know. Eggle's the only one who knows right now.
Can I tell them there's 11?
Sure, yeah, it's a free action. Just shout it out.
Okay. 5 to the right, 6 to the left.
All right.
All right. So I assume I can only attack one at a time. I can't double arrow this.
No. Yeah. Well, you can take more than one action. It's just that if you take more than one action, then both of them are at a -2. Or if you take 3 actions, and they're both at a -3.
All right. Well, I will shoot an arrow at one that is lumbering closest to the cart.
All right. Cool. Yeah. There's definitely one who's like running along a branch, and then it leaps out as if it's going after one of the caravan drivers.
Okay.
I have a question, Zap. Since he got a joker, he adds +2 to all of his rolls, right? So if he did 2 actions, would they just be 2 normal actions?
That's right. So actually, Joker's a perfect.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna shoot 2 arrows at 2 that are closest to the cart.
Okay. There's still just the one that's running and jumping toward the caravan, but
Right.
there are plenty of others in the trees that you can aim at.
Okay. This one, right?
Yeah. Well, that's a D8. I don't know what your shooting die is.
Shooting is D8.
Yeah.
Okay. 7,
And then you'll roll your D6 too for your wild die.
5.
5. Okay. So take the 7, and then it's +2.
So
Or
now-
no, it's 0. Sorry, because they negate each other. So you got a 7 total. That definitely hits. It doesn't hit with a raise, but go ahead and roll some damage there.
Is that a D8 again?
It'll be 2d6 for your bow.
3 and 4.
3 and 4. All right, so that's 7 total. The arrow like whistles out of your bow and connects like right in the shoulder, right between the shoulder and the neck with this wolf ape, as it's 2 feet away from the caravan driver that on the wagon that you're on. Which number wagon are you on, by the way? 1, 2, or 3?
2.
2. Okay. Yeah. So it comes out and this wolf ape like, and it actually tumbles forward and tumbles across the lap of the caravan driver. And the caravan driver is going to make a spirit check. Not the bravest caravan driver, this gal. But we'll see. So she got a 5. She was like, whoa! And then she looks back and she's like, hey, thanks! And then she keeps on, yeah! All right, so go ahead and give me that second attack.
All right. D8 again, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
8. Oh. I got an 8 on my D8.
All right.
3 on my D6. So I'm going to explode the D8.
Definitely.
6.
6. Okay. So that was an 8 and a 6?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 14 total. That's a hit with 2 raises, so you're going to add +2 to your damage die. So it'll be D6 +2. And actually, I'm pretty sure damage with your... No, jokers don't apply damage. Never mind.
Okay. Well, my first one was a 2. My second one was a 6, so that explodes.
Mm-hmm.
But he still rolls 3 dice for damage because he gets his wild die, right?
Right.
I roll 3 for damage.
Well, you roll 2d6, which is the damage for a bow, but because you're a wild card, you'll also roll your wild die.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Shooting is 2d6. Okay, well, I got a 6 and it exploded, and I got another 6.
Okay.
So I have to roll one more.
So, yeah,
right?
you just keep rolling.
No, so that's 12. And I got a 5, so that's 17. And then I have a third one, right?
17. Yeah.
1. Okay. So
Wow,
we'll go with
okay.
17.
Dang. All right. So describe how you totally just ruin this wolf ape's day. It's up in the trees. It's running along.
It's running along the trees.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the wolf is running along the trees, following parallel to the caravan. I'm following it with my bow and arrow along the tree, and right as it looks to the right towards us, and right as it looks to the right, I let loose my arrow, and it hits it straight dab in the eye.
Awesome.
As it's running along the tree, it trips and falls down into the trees, and I see it. There's all this crunching, and I see it land. And as it's fallen through the trees, branches have just impaled all over its body.
Nice. All right. Yeah, the Blackwood
But it's
is
not
exactly that
not
kind
dead yet. It's on the ground, bleeding out,
It's
crying.
Awesome. I love it. All right. So well done. And now we will do the wolf ape's turn, I guess. So they have their major. Oh no, it's back to Edmund actually. I forgot that we skipped over it.
I'm just holding until a creature gets within swinging distance of my axe.
All right. And you know, the way the chase rules work, the distance is abstracted. So it is... Oh, no, you still have to be in short range. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
But did you make your check for a major obstacle? No, Edmund.
No.
Okay,
I don't think so.
You're going to roll an agility check.
Oh, I did
to try
that.
and avoid a branch that's flying through at you.
Oh, for that. Okay.
Yeah. And it's at a -2.
Well, I just got snake eyes.
Oh, I would advise you spend a penny on that.
Okay, and that's re-roll the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I got 2. Wait, no, I guess 1 is the highest I can get.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, I rolled a 3 and a 2, and both of those are a -2, so...
Oh, dang. And that's the second time you rolled.
Yeah.
Oof. All right. Well, you are going to suffer some damage, so let's see what this damage is like.
Bring it on. Tree branches don't hurt.
It's 4 damage, so does that beat your toughness?
I don't think so.
Okay. No, it absolutely doesn't. Your toughness is like 11 or something because you're playing.
Yeah, my toughness is 9, and if it's a ranged attack, it's 11.
Oh, yeah. Well, then it definitely misses you. So
It just breaks apart across my chest.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You're standing up on top of this wagon. A branch swings out of nowhere. It actually swings out, too. It's not just in the way. It seeks you out. And it's like, wham! And you kind of... wood chips fly everywhere, and you're like, ugh. Ugh.
That's actually exactly what I'm saying.
Excellent. All right. The tree that swung the branch at you is the same tree that a couple of wolf apes are swarming through right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can't attack right now. I guess your turn's done then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the wolf apes are going to attack, and they too have to make an agility check at -2. So.
Wait, did a tree itself threw a branch at him?
Yeah, like the tree just tried to beat him up, but he's tougher than the tree, it turns out. All right.
Whomping willows.
Go Edmund.
So the wolf apes rolled a 6, and that was at a -2, so they got a 4. They just barely passed. So you guys are watching as this tree is kind of like coming to life and moving around, and all the branches are twining around and everything. And the wolf apes, in a stunning feat of acrobatics, actually just like flip. They like run upside down on the branches a little bit. They're doing all sorts of crazy stuff, and then they burst out of the trees, and a couple of them are leaping out onto the wagons. So, we're gonna do some attack rolls now. Their fighting is D6. And so one of these wolf apes is jumping up and actually, before we do this, I know that Eggle is on wagon 2. What wagon are the rest of you guys on? You can do 1, 2, or 3.
I'd be on 1.
1?
I'll be on 3.
Okay. And 2. Okay. Well, Edmund, there are a couple of wolf apes who are jumping down to your wagon, and one of them dives straight for the wagon driver. This is like an older man. He's in his early 50s. Like, he's not really old, but he's getting there.
Yeah.
Actually, for the Blackwood, that's pretty old. And so they rolled a 4, which is a hit, and they go for the throat, so they automatically go for whatever spot on a person is least armored. And so this wolf ape just dives at this dude and attacks with a bite, which is strength plus D4. So we're looking at All right. D6 and D4. That's 4 damage total. That does beat the caravan driver's toughness. And so what basically happens is wolf ape jumps out of the forest, dives and latches onto this dude's throat, and the guy's like, oh! He stands up in the wagon bumps, and he falls off of the wagon, and he is gone. This wolf ape is totally oblivious to the rest of you guys. He's just chowing down on this dude's neck.
Which caravan is this?
Number 1, unfortunately. So, Gavin, you got something to do with your next round.
Yeah, it's all killed. Does this mean the wolf ape went with him?
Yeah, but there are 2 more that are attacking towards you, so I'm going to go ahead and roll those attacks right now. And I'll just roll 1 attack for both of them.
Okay.
So that was a 6. It exploded. It's another 6. God.
Oh, man.
So it was a 6, a 6, and a 1. So that's 13 total. And what is your parry?
My parry is 10.
10? Oh, man, your parry's so high.
I know.
Okay, but they still got you. Luckily, they didn't get a raise, so they don't add anything to their damage. So now I'm going to roll damage.
I have no weak points.
That's right. Yeah. You're covered head to toe. All right. So they rolled. That explodes. So that's a 7, 8, 9. What is your toughness?
9.
9. Okay. So yeah, these 2 wolf apes dive at you, and they're about the size of, I don't know, what would you call it? Like, they're probably about the size of a bobcat or like a bigger terrier. They're not a full like Labrador dog size, but they're not a small dog size either, you know. So these 2 of them jump at you, and they're like, they're gnawing at your armor and stuff. And you just barely shrug it off. Like one of them even chinks just around like a lip of your armor, and you manage to like shake it away so that it doesn't get at your elbow or something. But that's what we're looking at. So there are a couple other attacks. There's going to be an attack on each of the other wagons too. Now, Jan and Egil are on the same wagon, right?
I'm on 2.
Yeah. And that one's being driven by a woman. So there are 3 people on that wagon. And they missed there. And then for the 3rd wagon, Bress, let's see what goes on here. And they missed there too. So that's them. And now, Bress, it is your turn. Now, because you drew a 5, you're at long range. So you would need to have a ranged weapon if you want to attack them, normally. But there are ones on your wagon that you can attack, so you can do a ranged attack against them.
Then, yeah, I'm just going to attack the one that is trying to eat me.
Sounds good.
So fighting, rolled a 10.
Nice.
So 11 for fighting.
Okay, so that's, let's see, against their parry, that's going to be a success with 1 raise. So you add +1 to your damage against it.
All right. Punch to the face. So that is 7. So 8 damage.
8 damage total. All right. So you jump over there, and how do you attack this thing? You kill it. Just describe how you kill it.
I just run straight up. You said it's so it'd be like way shorter than I am, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, if it were on the ground, it would be less than 2 feet tall.
Okay. Then I just run over to it and just right to the head, just fist straight down on top and just squish it.
Nice. Yeah, it's like right on top of a crate or something, so you punch it down, like maybe even splinter the crate a little bit. That was some nice damage. Well done. Okay, so that dude's dead. And then finally, that's the end of our round, so let's go ahead and make new checks. Now, Edmund, you are on a driverless wagon. And you notice that up ahead of you, there are more branches that are kind of hanging down. And about 20 feet in front of you, they actually like and fall down as if they're going to be a roadblock, but they hit the ground with such force that they kind of bounce up and off to the side. So go ahead and make a driving check. And if you don't have the driving skill, then it would just be D4 -2.
That still comes with a wild card, right?
Yeah, you still roll your wild die.
My 6 exploded.
Nice.
And I got another 6 exploded.
Nice.
Hold on, my dice dropped. And then I got 3.
3,
So 15, 14, 13.
13? Jeez, okay. So that was great. Yeah, you've clearly driven a wagon before. You like hop down there, grab the reins. Yeah, come on.
Yeah. I'll do it with one hand because I'm still going to fight.
Awesome. And what kind of weapon do you have?
An axe.
An axe, cool. All right then, so now everybody else make your agility checks. And let me know how many successes you get.
We do a wild here too, right?
I'm sorry?
We do a wild here too?
Correct, yeah.
I exploded my 8. So.
I got a 4.
4? 5. Okay, so let's do this in order. So, Eggle, you got a 5 of clubs, unfortunately, so that is a complication. It's going to be a major obstacle that you have to pass, but it's agility, so I figure you'll be pretty good at it. Jan, you got an 8. So that's what we're looking at here. And then Edmund, you got a 13 total, so you get 3. And you get to choose which one you want.
Shouldn't I choose the jack?
So you're going to take the jack? Sounds good. And then Bress, what did you get?
I got a 12.
12. All right, so that is likewise success with 2 raises. So, ooh, the second joker for you.
Joker.
Nicely done. All right. And then finally, these guys are going to make their check. So, it exploded. So that's 12 total for them. They get to draw 3 as well. And they are going to take an ace. So, you guys are still rocketing down this path. It's really bumpy, actually. There aren't really any shocks on this thing. And the oxen are moving kind of surprisingly fast for you. You guys are still rocketing down this path. Oh, weird. I can hear myself all of a sudden. But anyway.
That was not bad.
No problem. But anyway, these logs have just like bumped out of the way. You just cleared past them. You don't see the wagon behind you still, the 4th wagon. Like, it hasn't caught up. You're not sure what the fate of it is. But you can still hear in the trees, tra-la-li-lay, not safe today, ba-da-da-dee-da-da. And now let's do some turns. So, the turn order will be Wolf Apes first, unless Bress wants to cut in. And then we've got 8 of Hearts. Who got that one? I think it might have been Jan. Okay. So Wolf Apes, Jan, and then Bress, you got the 8 of Clubs, right?
No.
You got the 5 of Clubs?
I got the joker.
I got the 5 of clubs.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and so Edmund, which one did you get, Edmund?
A jack.
A jack. Where did the jack go? There it is. I took the wrong one. Okay, so, false alarm. The new initiative order. Wolf Apes, Edmund, Jan, thank you. And then Bress. Then Eggle, and Bress can do whenever you want. So do you want to go first?
There's none really near me, are there?
Well, they drew an ace, so they're all close range, so they are within melee range of you.
Oh, then I'm totally punching one.
All right. You can also take 2 actions right now, and the penalty is nullified. Or if you just do 1 action, then it's a +2.
Oh, that's right. Then I will take 2 actions.
All right.
So, first one, 5.
5, all right. 5 hits.
Then for the second, 9.
9, okay. 9 hits as well, so go ahead and give me damage for both of those.
First damage is I exploded both of them, so 12.
All right.
And 19, 22.
Oh my god.
I think he hit.
Yeah, you definitely kill one of these guys. I imagine Go ahead and describe how you take this dude out. Like, it's brutal. Just
Well, this one, I just run up and I dive down and I just kind of sideswipe it so hard it just flies off and just smacks itself into the side of a tree.
nice. Yeah, because the wagon's moving so quickly. It's like, poof, oh, wee. There's a little wipe sound. All right, so give me the second damage.
That is going to be 11.
11. All right, so that hits 2, and that is a kill. So you have killed 2 wolf apes this round. And yeah, so that's your turn. Now it's the wolf apes' turn. So they are not pleased. At this point, there are only 5 of them left, but they're still they're running all over everywhere. They are going to attack each wagon again. Now, Edmund, they're going to attack you first. You're on a wagon all on your own right now. So here are some attacks coming your way. Sorry, I rolled the wrong die. They rolled a 1. They definitely did not hit you. Now for wagon 2, there are 2 wolf apes on this one. They rolled a 3, so that doesn't hit either. And then the third wagon, or the last 2 wolf apes. Actually, no. There aren't any wolf apes on that wagon because they're scared of what just happened. So they're going to attack the second wagon.
Sorry, guys.
And they miss as well.
Woo!
Yeah, so the wolf apes, they're on the wagon now. They're kind of swarming all over the wagons, and they're yipping and they're gnashing and stuff, but the jostling and your own natural agility is keeping them from actually being able to hit you. So, Edmund, tell us about it.
All right, I'm going to make 2 attacks, and since I can't use the same weapon twice, I'm going to do one with my axe and then try to kick another one off.
All right.
And that'll be at a -2.
Yeah, to both actions.
I got 5 on my first attack.
And that's with the -2 included?
Yeah, that's with the -2.
Okay, that hits.
Okay, and then my other one is 1.
All right, well, you hit with one of them anyway.
Well, yeah, at least it's my axe one, too. So this is going to kill it.
I'm excited.
It doesn't do much. It just does 9 damage.
9? Okay, well, that definitely hits. So how do you kill this guy?
Just chopping my axe, like, straight down on it.
Nice. All right. Okay, so that happens. And next it is Jan.
There are how many around Eggles and Mai's wagon?
There are 4.
Which side are they on?
They're all around. I mean, they're on the wagon, kind of like swarming around you guys at this point.
Okay. Eggle, you take the right. And then I will roll when I remember what my dice are. That is not my sheet. Okay, so I'm using my bow, and my shooting is a D8. I got a 6.
A 6? That hits.
Okay.
And you had an 8, so you're actually at long range, which is -4. But they're on the thing. Yeah, they were at close range, so you're fine.
Okay. So I got a 6, I got a 1, and then a 6 on my D6, and I'm rolling, before I'm rolling my explosion, I'm rolling my wild die, just so you know.
Go ahead.
And a 2. So rolling for my exploding die, and a 3, so I got 11.
11 total? That kills one of them. Tell me about it.
Okay, well, I shoot my bow, whatever side I said I would take. And it hits it right in the shoulder and knocks it back off the tree, and I laugh out loud and say, ha ha ha! And I say, Mutt, leave that alone.
Yeah, and Mutt pays no attention to you. Mutt is just chowing down on this thing. All right, so that happened. Eggle, you're last, but you have an obstacle that you have to face. And so in this case, it's the wolf apes that are all swarming around you. So you have to make an agility check at -2 to avoid...
3.
Injured.
Do I do a wild or no?
Do what?
Do I do a wild?
Yeah. Always roll your wild die.
The wild was a 4.
A 4? Cool.
Is this
All
good?
right.
Should I use a Benny?
Do what?
Is that good enough to get out of it, or should I use a Benny?
Well, if you rolled a 4, it's going to be at a -2. So it'll be, yeah, it would still fail. You would need
All right, I'll use a Benny, because I still have 4 to start.
Sounds good. And I'm kind of keeping track over here of what your bennies are like, but definitely keep track of your own too. So, and let me know how many you have next whenever you use one.
Okay. All right. I got a 2 on my 8 and a 2 on my 6. Damn it.
2 on your 8 and a 2 on your 6. Okay, well, yeah, so you could spend another Benny if you wanted to.
I'm going to spend one more Benny.
All right.
Ah, 1 and 2.
Dang. All right, well.
That's it. That's it.
All right, well, the wolf apes are swarming around you, and they manage to nip around a little bit. What is your parry? Or your toughness? What is your toughness?
My toughness is 5.
5?
It's the 6. It's modified 6.
Modified 6. Okay. Then yeah, they just barely, like, they are gnawing all over. They're kind of like scratching your armor with their claws and stuff, but they just barely don't hurt you. You managed to avoid it.
Okay.
So well done. Next is your attack.
Okay. Now, at this point, last time I had a Joker, I can't make 2 attacks without a penalty this time, right?
Correct. Yeah.
What's that penalty?
-2. And there are 3 of them left at this point. I think they're all 3 on your wagon, too.
They're all on our wagon. Okay. If I were to use an arrow as a melee weapon, that's not shooting, right?
I guess not. Like, are you just thinking about stabbing it or something?
Well, I was gonna attempt to stab one in the face and then use the arrow and shoot the other one. Shoot another one.
Oh, all right. That would be the -2 penalty still, but...
But if I'm using that -2 on the shooting, my shooting is a D8.
Okay. I think that would be fine. Let me look up the rules for improvised weapons really quick, because this would definitely apply.
Dog, go give me some Pringles.
83.
What?
So this will be a small weapon. You suffer a -1 to your fighting penalty. And -1 to parry, actually.
Okay.
So it'll be a cumulative -3 if you're trying to attack this thing melee.
Using what roll?
Hmm?
But what am I rolling for that?
Oh, it'll be a fighting check.
A fighting check.
Yeah.
What do I'm sorry, I don't know what I roll for that.
Oh, if you don't have fighting as a skill, then it would be D4 -2, so you'd be at a cumulative -5.
Okay. We're not going to do that then.
All right, that sounds fine.
We rethought this situation. You said if I do 2 attacks, though, it's a -2 on one of them. Or on both of them.
Both, yeah.
All right, well, at this point, I will just attack one of the wolves.
Okay, sounds good.
Damn it, Eli, I'm trying to be all cool, and you're ruining it.
Hey, it's the rules that are ruining it.
All right, I got... Oh, shit. I got a 2 and a 3.
A 2 and a 3. And you were just doing an attack, so yeah, that doesn't hit. And are you doing 2 actions?
Oh, wait, it's my bow, so it's 2d6. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, that's for damage, though. That's not for your attack.
Oh, okay. No, that's a 2 and a 3 on a wild and an 8.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, then you definitely miss.
Okay.
Did you want to take that second action, or did you decide only to do one?
I'll do the second one.
Okay.
So that's just rolling, shooting again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I exploded on both of them.
Nice. And I'm sorry. What did you roll?
Shooting?
Yeah, shooting. Okay. So then I would roll the higher one, I guess, if it exploded.
Right.
Yeah.
I exploded again.
Oh, God.
That's 16. 17.
17 total. God, so that's a success with 3 raises. So you'll add +3 to your damage by the end of it. Oh wait, you rolled 17, but did you factor in your -2?
No, so 15.
15. So it's still 2 raises though. So you'll add 2 to your damage.
I'm just trying to understand though. Okay, he had negative because of his hindrance thing, -2, right?
Which hindrance?
No, this is the second action.
Well, I thought he failed his. He drew a club, and so you made him roll for that. And so I thought you had -2 for all of his actions for that. I'm just trying to understand the rules.
Oh, no. So when he drew a club, that was he had to clear an obstacle, and that was at a -2 penalty.
But his regular move isn't.
Yeah, his regular move isn't, but he's using 2 actions.
Okay, that's. I just want to make sure he didn't need a -4 there. So.
Oh, right. No. Yeah, just the -2.
Okay, so 15.
15 total. Yeah, that definitely hits. So roll some damage for me, and then you'll add 2 to it at the end.
2d6, which is also a wild too. So 5, 6, and then I'll do that one exploded. So that's an 11, and then my third one is a 6. So another 6, so that's 12. 14 would be my highest.
14 total, plus the 11 is 25, so yeah, you kill this thing. I almost imagine like it's under your feet, and you just whoop, and you shoot it like straight through the neck.
I know exactly what I do.
What do you do? Tell me about it.
Alright, so I'm standing on top of the cart, and these wolf apes are scratching at me and biting at me, and they're getting me. They're hitting me. They're like cutting into my gloves, into my leather a little bit. Okay. So I pull back for a second, I have a little recoil, and I see this one wolf ape is pulling down, getting ready to pounce up and get me again. So I prepare, and right as he goes down and comes up to strike at me, I go down and just hit down on my back. I go straight to my back and land on my back on the cart, and it comes above me to strike me, and while I'm below it, I shoot up straight into its neck.
That's awesome. So it flies up and out of the wagon.
Yeah.
All right, so then there are 2 of these wolf apes left, and we are on the next section of our chase. So at this point, there is going to be some complications. So Edmund, go ahead and give me your driving check, and the rest of you guys go ahead and give me agility checks.
I got 3 on my driving.
Explosion. 9.
All right. So keep those in mind. As far as the chase is concerned, this was a place where there was kind of a crossroads. And so Edmund, unfortunately, didn't think very quickly, and he just, like, picked away. He actually tried to pick away. The wagon buckled and, like, went up out of the road and into the forest itself. And the other wagons behind, I'll go ahead and roll for them. But it's not looking good. Oh, yeah, no, they did the same thing. So they just followed your lead. And they're like, well, okay,
way to go,
he knows what he's doing. He's covered in armor.
Don't worry, I have a plan.
And so it, like, bounces back off into the forest. And it's weird. It's almost like the forest parts and creates a sort of road for you. It's like it's excited that you have gone off the trail, and it wants to let you get into the forest a little bit.
Don't trust your eyes.
Do what?
We're in the forest now. Don't trust your eyes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And you know what? You can get a Benny back for that.
Oh!
That's one of his catchphrases. And Jan, I'm pretty sure I owe you a Benny for Mutt attacking that wolf ape too, so you can have that. All right, so you guys are off the trail, and now we're going to so Eggle, what was your initiative? What was your agility check?
6.
It was a 6? Okay, so that's 1 success. So you get a king of clubs. Uh-oh.
Ah!
Basically, if you have a king, something obscures the character's vision or path, and you can't attack this round. So for whatever reason, your vision is obscured. So think about what that might be. Jan, what did you get?
I got a 6.
6. You have an 8. Edmund, you got the 3, so you don't have any successes. You don't get to do anything this round except for drive, but your hands are full. You're driving off-road right now.
Yeah.
And then Bress, what did you get?
9.
9. Okay, so that's a success with a raise, so you can choose between these two.
What's the other one?
What they actually are.
10.
10? All right, so let's go with that. And then the wolf apes are going to roll as well. They got a 5, so that's 1 success. They got a queen. Okay, so then the order will be, it'll be Eggle, and then the wolf apes, and then Bress, and then Jan, and that's it. So Jan, you can't attack this round, but you can still act Eggle, you can act this round, you just can't attack as part of your action. So is there anything you want to do?
How dark is the forest? I mean, we can see everything, right?
It is noticeably darker than whenever you were on the path. The path, like, the forest was still crowding overhead, but there was a little bit of sunlight that was coming through. Now it's like you're in full shadow. It is not so much that it impairs your vision, though. What'd you say, Jan?
Can he aid someone?
That's what I was going to say. What can I do for Jan or the second part?
You can make a cooperative maneuvering trait roll, but that's really it. So the best you could have done was aid Edmund in his driving, but
I'm not on the same cart as him.
Right, exactly. So you're pretty much stuck with either moving to a different cart or like shouting something, or actually you could do both of those things.
Jan, do you need me on this cart with you?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. Then, as we entered the forest, I went to go draw another arrow, but the second we passed the line from the road into the forest, a black flash. What is it? There was a flash of black before my eyes, and this.
And you just saw this. This is all you saw. It was like.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. This hand sort of reached out, and it stunned me. And then, so I'm shaken, not like literally as far as,
right, yeah, mechanically speaking.
But I put my arrow back in my quiver, look around, and decide to leap to the first caravan to assist Edmund any further.
Mm-hmm. And so whenever this thing happens to you, do you react physically in any way? Because obviously the other people on the wagons wouldn't be able to see this thing reaching after you.
Yeah, I have well, it brings me down to one knee, and I immediately bring my hands to a chain of beads around my neck.
All right, cool. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and award you another Benny for that. Well done. And by the way, if you guys feel like you deserve a Benny for something you've done, feel free to ask for it. And especially if you feel like someone else deserves a Benny for something they've done, mention that too, because I'm not going to be able to remember 100% of the time. Okay, so now we will go to the turn. That was Eggle's turn. The queen is next, and I believe that was...
The monkeys.
The monkeys, okay, cool. The monkeys are going to exercise a Benny, and they're going to, like, jump. And so, Eggle, you said you jumped onto the wagon with Edmund, right? Cool. And so then there's number 3 with just Bress on it. There's number 2 with just Jan on it. And then there's number 1 with both Eggle and Edmund. So the 2 wolf apes that are on the second wagon, they see Eggle jump off to another one, and they mistake that for like a victory. And so they both go... And then in the forest, you can hear an answer. It's kind of faint, but you can still hear it. Something's going down. And then that's all they're going to do right now. So next is the 10, and I believe that is Bress, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're looking up ahead, and you can see these two wolf apes on the wagon in front of you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go over to that wagon.
Okay.
Get closer to them.
Cool.
And then,
give me an agility check for that.
Yeah. My wild eye exploded.
Nice.
So 11.
11. All right. Yeah, you can flip backwards over there if you want to. I don't care. All right. So you land over there, and you are definitely within attack range. It says that you're at long range, so it's a -4 to attack because you drew a 10. But we've been kind of flubbing those rules for this chase scene anyway, so let's just go ahead and, for consistency's sake, say that you're within range and you can attack.
Okay. Yeah, no, I missed. I got a 2.
Ah, too bad. All right. So you jumped over there with fine form, but it was too disorienting. You just couldn't attack one of the dudes. And then Jan.
Well, when Bress jumps over, Jan looks at him and says, "Nice day, isn't it?" And then shoots at Orphan.
Nice. So go ahead and give me that shot.
Okay, it is shooting. I got a 3 and a 3, so I'm going to use a Benny.
All right.
And a 2 and a 1.
So are you going to settle with that?
No, I'm going to do one more Benny because I'll be down to 2
if you use this other one.
Yeah. I got a 5.
A 5. All right, that hits. So give me some damage.
Got a 5, a 2, and a 1, so 7.
A 5, a 2, and a 1, so that's 7. That does hit, and that does kill. So this wolf ape, it was giving you some trouble. It was like hunkered down, and its mane was all like going up behind it. It was all, what do you call that? When a cat like raises its hackles? Yeah. It like fluffs up its hackles, and it's like, "Grrr!" And it's jumping from side to side like it's trying to juke you out. But it's not sharp enough for Jan. And so, yeah, the arrow hits it, and it falls off the wagon. It's done for.
And leaps over the body as they run by.
Do what?
Mutt leaps over the body as it falls off.
Nice. Nice.
Just so everyone knows, Mutt is not real.
Yeah, Mutt is a figment of Jan's imagination.
How many wolf apes is that?
So there's one left at this point. And we are at the end of the round, so we're going to do maneuvering checks again. So while this has been happening, you hear the howling out further in the forest, but all of a sudden, the caller's song grows a little louder. Tra-la-li-lay, not safe today. The Blackwood's all aflutter, and all of a sudden, this caller is in your midst. This little grubby critter is right there in front of you, and it is time to make some maneuvering checks. So give me agility, and then Edmund, give me a driving check.
I got 2 again.
Start with you. What do you got?
2.
Wait, sorry, Eggle, you go first.
9.
9. All right, so that's a success and a raise. So you get your choice. I assume
Jack.
you're going to want to go with the jack. All right. And then Jan, what about you? Oh,
I had to use another Benny, but then I got a 7.
7. All right. So you get an ace. Well done. Edmund, what did you get?
2.
A 2. So the wagon bumps over a root and some crates fall out of the back of it. They kind of like cause the wagons behind to swerve. Oh, crap. And now, Bress, what about you?
5.
A 5? Okay, so that's 1 success for you, and you get a 5. And then the wolf apes. There's only just the one left. and it got a 6, so it gets a 2 of clubs. Uh-oh.
Good.
Oh. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do its check now, because if it is a 2 of clubs, that means it's a disaster. So I make a trait roll at -4, and if I fail, I suffer a disaster of some sort. So here we go. Trait check -4. I got a 2. I'm going to go ahead and use one more Benny for that and try and roll that again. I got a 2 that time, so I definitely didn't succeed. And so while Edmund's crappy driving turns out to be kind of a boon, because the crates fall off of the back of this wagon. Wagons 2 and 3 are like, oh man, and they swerve to get out of the way. And while this is happening, the wolf ape is like bucked off of the wagon and just disappears into the forest behind you. But you've still got the collar to deal with. So, okay, yeah, Bress has never taken his eyes off of him. Good, good, good. I need you all to make spirit checks at -2.
Do we get wild die on that?
You do.
Exploded my D4.
I exploded one of them, and I got 10. Well,
10
8.
total?
8 total, I -2.
8 total.
3 total.
3 total. Jan got 3 too?
I got 6.
6. Okay, so Egil and Jan, the collar is actually on both of your wagons. It
We're not on the
breaks your
same.
brain a little bit to think about it.
Okay, so we're on different wagons.
Yeah, like you can see the collar on your wagon. You can also see the collar, the exact same collar on the wagon ahead of you as well. And it's really odd. And then it just looks at you with these eyes, and it's like tra-la-li-lay. And you feel a really sharp pain on your neck. How do you react?
Jan throws his head, like, shakes it off, tries to shake it off.
The pain isn't there anymore. What about you, Egil?
I face worse pain. I stare the collar straight in the eyes and mutter a chant.
Mutter a chant? Okay. I think that's probably worthy of a Benny. Now, I do have that house rule where you can only have a maximum of 5. And
That's
so
5.
we're currently at max bennies.
Cool.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and adjust my bennies here so that it's more accurate. Wait a second, here we go. Maybe that's how I do it? Maybe? Yeah, okay. Cool. So, as you guys are looking, you see that Egil and Jan have these branches that sprout out of their necks, and they're probably about, I don't know, this long or something. They're leafy branches that stick out of their necks, like it's obvious and unconcealable. And the wood is like a really dark hardwood, and the leaves are an especially brilliant emerald green. And anyone is welcome to make a survival check to figure out what kind of branch this is.
Okay. I do that.
I'm sorry, Egil, what did you say?
Should I do a survival check too?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can see Jan.
I got a 3 plus 2, so I got a 5.
A 5? All right. A 3 plus 2. You shouldn't add on a survival. Oh, with your bonus. Never mind. You got a 5.
Do I roll a live too?
Yeah, you do.
5.
5. Okay. And then Bress, did you roll?
Yeah, I got a 6.
A 6. And Edmund, did you roll?
I got like a 0.
Okay. Yeah, you're driving. You're busy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys all recognize that this branch is a heartwood tree, and a heartwood tree only grows in magical wilderness. Derek, damn it!
Where did you get this idea?
I came up with his name first. I had it 3 years ago, I promise. Anyway, It's a book that we just read. You guys wouldn't understand. It's called Uprooted by Naomi Novik. It's very good. I highly recommend it to each and every one of you.
There are heartwood trees.
Yeah,
Eli, there's a brain sticking out of my neck. I don't have time to read books.
All right, good point. Back to the game. Okay, so you guys drew some cards, and this is what they look like, and I cannot for the life of me remember who drew what. So who got the ace? Ego got the ace?
No, I got the
Ego got the jack.
I think I had the ace.
Jan has the ace. And I think Edmund probably failed his again.
Yeah.
Okay. So this collar is here, and all of a sudden the collar disappears. And so you guys are like bumping through the forest, having a really rough time of it. But up ahead, you do see there's a break in the trees, and you can see that there's some sort of path that kind of runs perpendicular to where you've been going. There aren't any enemies here except for the collar, and you guys have the ability to attack the collar before it goes away.
I'll do that.
So who got the ace? That would be Jan. Go ahead.
I think it was me. Someone else got it, but
No, you got it.
okay.
You got it.
I wrote it down.
Oh, good people. Okay, so rolling for shooting. I got a 5.
5. Okay. Shooting success is a 4 though, so you hit.
Oh, okay. A 1, a 2, and a 4, so 6.
6 total. Let me check something really quick here. A 6 does not hit. The 6 hits. No, 6 does not hit. Ties go to the defender.
Okay, well, I mean, I hit it, but it just doesn't do anything, right?
Yeah, so actually that's a good point. Like you shoot the arrow and it just, and then the collar's like, haha, and it just touches it and the arrow disappears.
Well, I say, Mutt, grab that.
I'll give you a penny back for that. Go fetch.
It's really bad at fetching, though. He never brings it back. We always work on it.
Stupid dog.
It made me look bad.
All right, so next it is the jack. I believe that was Eggle.
Is there any advantage to attacking it melee versus ranged?
I mean, you are. So if you attack it ranged, it's easier to hit because you only need a 4. But I think there's maybe a penalty if you're doing it at immediate range. Let's call it a -2 penalty.
How much of a penalty?
-2.
Okay, would it be worth it for me to use my dagger? Then my shooting is significantly higher. My dagger would be strength plus d4 plus strength.
But you don't have any fighting skill.
No, I suppose I don't. So what's the point of me having this freaking dagger?
For a rainy day.
All right, I will shoot an arrow point blank at the collar.
Sounds good. All right. So that'll be a -2, but you're still just trying to hit a 4.
Can he just make a step back and then shoot?
If you want to do an agility check to try and like jump to another wagon, I'd let you do that.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm on the first wagon right now.
Okay.
He's on the second wagon and the first wagon, right?
Now he's just on the second wagon.
Well, then I'm on the first wagon, so I'm farther away.
Good point. Yeah, you don't even need an agility check. Go ahead.
Okay. So D8 and then I roll. I got 2 1s, so I'm going to spend a Benny.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my wild exploded.
Nice.
Exploded again.
Nice.
So that's 17 minus 2 is 15.
15. So that's a success with 2 raises, so you'll add +2 to your damage against this guy.
Okay. Hold on one sec, sorry.
And your damage is just that d6 +2.
Okay. My damage is 2d6.
2d6, yeah.
3, 5. So I do the 5. Do I do a wild as well?
Yes, yeah, you're wild die.
4. So 5 plus 2 is 7.
7 total, that hits. So
Wait, do I add my 2d6?
yeah, the 2d6 you add together, and then
Okay.
your wild die you can replace one of those.
So then it would have been an 11.
Okay. Yeah, 11 definitely hits, and that hits with 1 raise. So go ahead and that means that you hit this thing, and when Jan hit it before, it hit and he was like, ha ha ha, and he touched it and the arrow went away. This time, your arrow actually punctures through the collar, and it like jumps back, and it's like, ah, and it starts crying. And you can see there's sap pouring out of its skin. It doesn't have wood for skin. It's almost like a very soft, downy layer of fur or something over its skin.
Where did I hit it?
Where did you want to hit it?
I wanted to hit it. Between neck and shoulder.
Between neck and shoulder. All right. Yeah. Then it's like, and it's like kind of through its trap muscle, and you can see there's like sap that's kind of bubbling out, and then it just sticks right there. It doesn't flow like blood would, and it's this weird kind of brownish, greenish color. It's not blood very clearly.
Did you get that checked out?
No joke. Okay, so it is shaken and it has a wound, basically, is what that means. And that is your turn, so we will go on to Bress.
Am I in range to hit this thing?
Yes.
Then I'm gonna punch it. Or 5.
5. 5 does not hit.
Then I don't punch it.
Even though this thing is like crying and it's yanking at this arrow in its shoulder, it still like sees you coming, and it just very gracefully understeps your strike at it, and it almost like it actually sticks its tongue at you. It's like, nah, and then it disappears. It's just totally gone. You have no idea where this thing is. And that is this round. So it's time for more maneuvering checks. Now at this point, you've been down the forest road. You had that log break and bounce off to either side. You did some poor driving and drove off the road. And now you're bouncing along through the forest. But up ahead of you, it looks like there's a path. So go ahead and make me those maneuvering checks.
I'm using a Benny.
Okay. 5. Okay, so that's 1 success, and you get an ace of spades. Nice. Jan, what about you?
I got a 2.
Oh, too bad. You don't get anything. Edmund, what about you?
My total is 8.
8? Nice. So you get a success with a raise, and you can choose between a 10 and a 3.
I'll take the 10.
Hey, great. And then Bress, what about you?
I got a 4.
A 4. Okay, so you get 1 success, and that is a 7. So you guys do have an initiative order, but there are no enemies right now. And so what will happen instead, you burst out of the forest, you're back on this road. None of you are really familiar with this road. That's not to say that it doesn't really exist. That's not to say it's like a trick of the Blackwood, but it might be. You don't know. So you're driving down the road, barreling along, and then all of a sudden there's this bridge that kind of, it's like there's a part where the road was washed out, and they just built this wooden bridge over it. It's only about 15 feet long, but it is really rickety looking. Like it was built 50 years ago, and it was last repaired 60 years ago, you know. It's one of those kinds of bridges. So everybody, the drivers in wagons 2 and 3 are like, "Oh, everybody, hold on! We're gonna deal with this." And so what's happening is that this is a trap. And so I'm going to go ahead and roll the trap die. And I got a 5, so my initiative is 10. So what we're looking at here is Eggle, and then the trap, and then is it Edmund who got the 7?
Yeah.
Okay, Bress, and then Edmund. So, yeah, Eggle, Trap, Bress, and Edmund. So,
I
Eggle.
got a 10.
You got a 2?
10.
10.
Oh, did you get a 10 of clubs? No.
Yeah, no, you got the 10 of clubs. Which I was going to ask. Does that mean the trap doesn't spring?
I keep picking the wrong cards for people.
Oh, you got a 10 of spades.
10 of spades, yeah, I corrected it.
No, I was saying the trap got the 10 of clubs. Does this mean it has a hindrance?
No, you got spades.
I think so. I think the trap was the one that drew the 10 of clubs.
Yeah, but does it have a hindrance because of the clubs?
Oh.
Does the trap have a hindrance? It would, wouldn't it? So, it would be a major obstacle, so let me roll let's say agility, and let's say that it has a d6 in agility. So that was a 5, so it's a 3 total. So this bridge, as you're coming up to it, it's kind of shaking in the wind on its own.
I can try.
You're not totally satisfied that you're going to be able to make it across this thing, but Eggle has a chance to do some things first. Is there anything you would like to try to do to try and, like, fix this trap from happening in the first place? This would be an opportunity for some sort of crazy stunt.
The only thing I can think of, there's no way I can disarm the trap in terms of the bridge is rickety, right?
You could definitely try and reinforce it with something. I mean, there are ways. Maybe you could, I don't know, like shoot at a tree branch that there's maybe a tree branch that looks like it's withered or something, and you could hit it and knock it down and try and prop up the bridge with it or something like that. We would call it a trick shot at like a -3 to hit, but your target number is still only 4, so.
And how concerned are we about the cargo?
Well, I mean, you were paid to deliver it to High Hall, and so it's not like you're going to get paid less for not delivering the full amount, because dangerous things happen in the Blackwood all the time, and cargo doesn't always make it.
Well, I'm personally not concerned about the cargo. I'm personally concerned about the well-being of everyone on the carts.
Okay. Yeah, then in that case, you could act accordingly. You know, you don't have to take the cargo into consideration.
Well, I'm on the first cart. My first instinct is I have rope, and my first instinct is to toss the rope back. Back to carts 2 and 3 and warn everyone to secure themselves with the rope. In the event that the bridge breaks, we are sort of no one will fall.
Okay.
If the bridge is, I'm on the first cart, so if the bridge is breaking, I'll know it's breaking. And if I can jump to the other side, if we're far enough across, or if I can grab onto the bridge at some point or something, and we're all latched together, then no one will fall. Does that make sense to anyone?
I mean, it makes sense to me.
Then that's what I feel. Does anyone else have anything else? Any ideas?
Well, I mean, you won't be able to strategize with the other characters, so
Oh, God
you
damn
can't.
it, Eli.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, then I'm personally, if everyone else is concerned about the cargo, that's fine. I'm personally not concerned about the cargo, so I would toss rope out to everyone behind me and tell them to secure themselves.
Okay. Yeah, so that would be, let's call it a throwing check. And I know you don't have throwing as a skill, so it would be D4 minus 2. But if you get a 4, you can throw it back to wagon 2. And if you get an 8, then you can throw it back to both wagons.
The D4 minus 2?
Yeah, but, I mean, D4 are the most likely dice to explode. You have a 25% chance of it exploding.
I'm just
you still get your wild die too, though.
yeah.
Right,
I'm just
yeah.
trying to think of something. I'm just trying to think of something else I can do. Like, how the hell do we reinforce this bridge?
Honestly,
mean-
I think that's a good idea. Reinforcing the bridge is kind of a long shot, but
Right.
just making sure that everybody else stays in the wagon, that's sound strategy, if you ask me.
All right. Well, then I'll do it.
Can anyone throw a piece of rope down the mud?
I'll use a Benny because I got 2 3s.
Okay.
Down to 2 bennies. All right, my 4 exploded.
The 4 exploded, all right.
4 exploded again.
All right.
So 9.
9! You did it! Okay.
Wait, it's minus what?
It was -2, so you got
A 7.
Oh, crap. Wait. You rolled a 4, and then you rolled a 4 again, and then you got a 2?
No, then I got a 1.
A 1, okay. Yeah, so it's a 7. You can throw it back to the second wagon at least. But I
All
don't
right.
think anybody's on
Wait.
the third wagon, are they?
Everyone's on the second wagon except for the driver of the third wagon.
Yeah, and it's not like the driver could grab the rope anyway.
No,
so.
fuck him. Okay. So, yeah, I throw the rope to the second wagon.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, you guys are free to grab onto it. And if you do, I'll grant you a +1 against the trap whenever the trap springs.
Am I allowed to?
What do you mean, are you allowed to?
Because I didn't pass my
Oh,
agility.
because you don't have an action. Yeah, I guess not. That's too bad. Well, all right. So the trap is springing, and I need everyone to make agility checks at -2. Although, if you're holding on to the rope, then you get a +1, so it's really only a -1.
Except me.
I'm gonna use a Benny.
Okay.
That makes I have 2 now.
Yeah, I'm also using a Benny for 2.
Okay.
It's -1, you said, because I'm holding on a rope?
Yeah.
My wild die exploded when I rolled a 2, so you said it was at a -2?
So I got a 7.
Okay, wait a second. So I got a 4. And then, Jan, you said your wild die exploded, but then what?
And then I rolled a 2, so you said it was at a -2?
Yeah, but you needed a 4, so you got a 6, so that's a success. Edmund, what did you get?
3.
3?
Do I need to use another Benny?
It wouldn't hurt.
Okay, I'm down to 1 Benny.
All right.
We've all been there.
Oh, I exploded my wild dice.
Nice.
So that's 8, 6.
6. Okay, so you passed, and then Bress, what did you get?
I also got a 6.
A 6. Okay, so you guys all managed to this bridge while you're going over it. It does indeed, like the first wagon goes over and you feel this, and then the second wagon goes over and you feel this, and it like bucks the back of the wagon up. There are crates that go flying everywhere. There's a couple sacks that go flying too, and like it hits, like there's a bridge here, and the wagon's going over it, and then it breaks. And so you hit the lip of this washed out area, and the end of the wagon just up like that. But luckily the wheels didn't break.
Did the
Third
third
wagon.
wagon not make it?
So the
Do what?
bridge broke?
Do what?
The bridge broke?
It did. And the third wagon, there's a guy. So Bress, you were on the third wagon long enough. What does the wagon driver look like?
Oh, he's a young kid in his, late teens. He just wants to make a living for his family.
Oh man, well, he's not going to get to because he's barreling towards this thing, and the oxen are like freaking out. They're screaming in front of the wagon. They kind of jump over, and they almost manage to clear the wreckage of the bridge, but they do not. And so they stumble and collide with the wreckage of the bridge. The wagon is trying to keep up, but it just doesn't. And so it collides. The kid is just like, no! And I mean, the wagon like crunches, it turns up, it falls on top of the kid. It's really gruesome. Like he is obliterated between the wagon, the oxen, and the bridge. And that's the end of your third wagon. Just carts and bags go everywhere.
Can we stop our carts now?
Do what?
Can we stop our carts now?
Not just yet, because you can still hear the baying of the wolf apes behind you.
Okay.
You don't necessarily want to, but you do look ahead, and you can see that there's some sort of layer of vines that's hanging over the road about 30 feet in front of you, and then behind that you can see daylight, like there's a clearing of some kind, so you know that you're almost at the end. So let's do our final maneuvering checks.
But hold on first, because Jan doesn't see Mud at the moment. Does anyone see him?
Mutt,
No one sees
in the background. So in the background, Jan, you see Mutt just like leap. He doesn't even touch the top of this carnage over the bridge. He just leaps straight over it. It's an epic leap, like 10 or 12 feet in the air. This dog jumps.
Okay, well, as long as he made it.
Okay, so give me those maneuvering checks. What do you got?
13.
Eggle got
11.
13.
11.
So I'm sorry, hold on just a second. That's a success with 2 raises. So you get to choose. I'm assuming you want that 9.
9 of hearts, please.
Yeah, 9 of hearts. So I have definitely picked the 9 of hearts, I promise. Jan, what did you get?
11.
11, so that's a success with 1 raise.
Not the club.
Not the club. All right, yeah, it's fair. And you see, that's a strategy too, because your maneuvering check is going to tell you how many cards you can draw. And the 9 was actually higher than the 6, but because it was a club, it might not have been the most valuable one. And then Edmund, what about you?
1.
Oh, man. All right, and then Bress, what about you?
I got a 7.
A 7? Okay, so that's 1 success. So you get a 3. Okay. So you guys are riding along. I'm going to go ahead and do... this one doesn't have much agility. Oh, but it did explode. So 5 total. And then the bad guy's got a 4. So it looks like it's going to go Eggle, Jan, bad guys, and then Bress. So you can see these vines coming up ahead of you. And Eggle, I'll tell you this, something in your mind, there's some sort of alarm that's going off in your mind. Why don't you make a survival check for me?
It exploded the first time, so that was 9.
9? Okay, so you look ahead and you realize that these vines are living. There's no breeze. Like, you can feel the wind whipping past you, but you look at the trees and you see that the leaves actually aren't moving from any kind of wind. And yet these vines are just kind of like going back and forth like this. And you recognize these vines. You've seen them in the forest before, and they are covered with some really nasty thorns.
Would this trigger my danger sense?
Yeah. So I think the way your danger sense works, you get a +2.
I get a -2.
Oh, yeah, but it's a notice check at -2 whenever there's danger going off. So give me your notice check.
I got a 4.
4. Okay. Yeah, and that's before the -2 or after?
Oh, so it'd be a 2.
Okay, a 2. Yeah, then, like, you just see the vines. It doesn't click for you.
Wait a minute. He would only have to get a 2, right? Why would his edge hinder him? I'm confused.
Well, normally, like, if somebody gets the drop on you, you don't get any chance to react. But if you take danger sense, then you do get a chance, but it's at a penalty.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's kind of weird, but, I mean, it's the rules, so. Okay, and then Jan, you are not right away. So, what did you draw? Did you draw the 6? You did.
Yeah.
So you can make a survival check too.
Okay, good. I got a 7.
A 7. Okay. Yeah, then you also recognize that these are vines that are moving even though the wind is not, but you don't notice the thorns on them. Okay, so then you guys are driving along, and Eggle, it's your turn first. How do you react?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is warn everyone.
Okay.
So, cursed thorns, armor.
All right.
Do I have to use an action to mumble a chant against the curse against the vines? Not like like as a spell, but it's like these are obviously evil
Yeah,
spirits.
your charms or whatever.
Yeah.
You can definitely make one as a free action. It's just a speech thing.
Okay, then yeah, I grab my beads and utter a warding chant, and then I think the next thing I would do was make sure that every piece of exposed skin on me was covered.
Okay. Speaking of cover, there are plenty of crates and stuff in these two wagons, so you could try to hunker down behind crates.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it wouldn't do anything to light a torch and try and burn our way through because we're going so fast.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't catch quickly
Okay.
enough.
Then I would duck for cover.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna shout. I'm gonna basically say, find cover.
Find cover.
And
Okay.
then, duck for cover.
Cool. And then what about the rest of you guys? Next, it'll be Jan.
Okay. Jan ducks for cover and mutters, "Grandpap always said never trust a moving vine when the wind ain't blowing."
Awesome. I'll give you a bunny for that.
Yeah, that's a Benny.
Well done. And then Edmund, you failed, so you don't actually get a turn this round.
Yeah, I'm just gonna turn on and go, what?
And then Bress, your initiative order is just barely too late to be able to take advantage of it. So
But he's made of bark. How badly would you affect him?
Well, my bark is technically considered skin, so...
Right, yeah, it doesn't give you like a bonus or anything.
Okay.
Okay, so what's going to happen now, I'm going to make an attack roll with this living vine against you guys. Anybody who has taken cover gets a +2 to their parry to avoid it. And so keep that in mind whenever I'm asking you what your parry is. I rolled a 2, but I don't want to do that, so I'm going to roll again. I used one of my bennies, and I rolled a 1 the second time. So you guys are barreling along, and these oxen have fairly wide horns. And as you're like smoking down the pathway here, the oxen both kind of toss their heads just in panic because they are tired at this point. Like they're panting really heavily and they're foaming at the mouth and stuff. But they toss their heads, and the vines kind of like bounce off of their sides and clear a path just barely for this first wagon. So the first wagon gets through. And who's on the second wagon at this point?
Me.
Okay. So now I'm going to do the attack for the second wagon. Ooh. And that was a 6. And so what are your parry scores right now?
I got a 7 since I'm ducking.
Okay, so you got a 7. And then Bress, what about you? What's your parry?
I have a 7.
Okay, great. So you guys see these vines coming, and you notice that whenever they bounce off of the oxen up in the front, they kind of like, you see that they grab on and catch a little bit and rip a little bit of flesh out of these oxen as they're running past. And so they, like, you guys have a good sense to be able to duck out of the way somehow whenever they come past you. And so all of you burst into the clearing, and you see that it is so can everybody see this right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so you see that there is a stream that goes along here, and there is a really ramshackle-looking cottage. There's just enough of a yard that you can like manage to bring the wagons to a stop, but Edmund, I'm going to need another driving check from you.
I just want to say I'm sorry in advance. Oh, I quoted my wild. 6.
6? Okay, yeah. Then you actually do a little bit better than the other cart. You manage to like pull back on the reins, no doubt using your sentinel strength. And you bring the wagon to a halt. The oxen are like, they come to a stop right before they connect with the cottage itself. And then the wagon behind you guys actually swerves out of the way to miss the first wagon. And so Jan and Bress make agility checks for me.
Huzzah!
And it'll be at a -2.
Three.
All right. And Jan?
I'm using a Benny.
All right.
It's a -2.
It is.
I got a 3.
Yeah, so you guys both fall out of the wagon and you become shaken. But fortunately, the howling of the wolf apes in the background, it's still there, but it's not growing any louder. And the minutes pass by and it still doesn't go any louder. Eggle asked, do we still have branches sticking out of our necks? And yes, you absolutely do. And so, yeah, you guys come to a stop right in front of this cottage, and this is where we are going to take a break. We'll break for 15 minutes, let's say, and come back around 9 o'clock, and then we will continue our adventure, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So for everybody watching, our one viewer right now, thank you for watching, first of all. I hope you're having fun. And then second of all, we'll be back in just a little while. So guys, go to the bathroom, get your drinks refreshed, whatever you need to do.
Tinkle time.
Yay, tinkle time!
So I should not be allowed to drive carts.
Ever.
I basically failed like every check.
You made 1, 2.
Now, all of my minis tonight have went to not crashing. And like, my damage, like with my axe, is a D10 and a D8. So
Holy
like,
crap.
if I could just swing my weapon, I would be so useful.
Yeah, with my fists, I hit with a D8 and a D4.
What's a D4? Your strength?
No, I have the Brawler Edge, which lets me fight without weapons, and it adds a D4 to my strength damage.
Oh, cool.
And so my strength is a D8. Bress is actually horrified of using weapons. So he has a phobia as a major hindrance, and so he will never use a weapon, so he only uses his fists.
My character uses an axe because he was a lumberjack after he was a bandit.
That's awesome.
So he didn't start out a good person.
Edmund.
But my character is like 40-something.
Oh, wow.
Really?
He's old, especially for the woods.
Yeah, I think that's one of the oldest characters I've ever seen in a Blackwood game.
I got a picture of him that my wife drew.
Oh, I want to see it.
Wait, you got married?
Now, he looks a bit like a dwarf, which he wasn't supposed to. Like, his original, I don't know how well you can see this, like this face here is a lot like what he looks like. And then this is the picture that she drew, but he looks way too much like a dwarf to me.
He does look a little dwarfish.
Still pretty awesome, though.
Yeah, but now he's got a full helmet on, so I'll probably pick some cool armor from Dark Souls. Like, the armor from Dark Souls 2 is, like, perfect for what I want him to look like. The one with the wolf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I want him to kind of wear and look like.
Which one is
Eric,
it?
is that better than the one with the balloon on it?
The balloon?
Yeah, that's a hard root beer, right?
Alright, I've had this in Coney Island. I like them both. But...
We've got one down here. It's got like a Zeppelin on it, and it tastes awful.
Sounds good. I mean, it tastes just like root beer. What do you mean down there? Are you still in Springfield?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I haven't left.
Okay, well, it's not that far. I'm sure they have the same drinks there as they do for me. So.
Oh. Where are you at now?
I'm at Lake of the Ozarks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're not that far. For some reason, I thought you went way up north.
I went to Des Moines, Iowa for law school.
That's right.
Yeah, I think I'm the furthest north of us right now. Because Charlie's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I'm still in Springfield.
Me too.
Not a bad place to be, though.
So, did I tell you that I'm in a Power Rangers campaign?
No.
And that's actually what I'm rolling on my sheet. This is my Power Ranger. I'm the Orange Ranger, and it's in a dystopia future where the Power Rangers have been destroyed, and like we're part of this new program to fight the new monsters that are showing up. and my character is a massive drug user. And like
awesome.
some of the cool things he's done so far, I've robbed a computer store, I stole a taxi, and we were at this building where this drug dealer was at, and the drug dealer hightailed it out of there, and the whole rest of the group chased after them. And my character stayed behind and got into a lot of trouble. I ended up like kicking open a door at a bar that they eventually went to with a sniper rifle and started shooting into it. Like, wasted out my mind.
Ever. I think they should make that into a show. I'd watch that.
So wait, are all the Power Rangers still teenagers?
No, we're like randomly picked from like the best suitable people on the planet.
Nice.
And the only reason I was picked is because I'm like a big time hacker who works on AI and robotics, and I created 2 robots so far. One is an AI that was capable of psionics, and the other one, because the other one was a bit of a liability and a problem, I dumped it down, and I'm playing a summoner, and his name is Gertie, and I call him the Silver Ranger. But he's made out of like old Megazoid parts, and the company that's running the Power Ranger stuff is using my like programming and robotic stuff to make the new suits. So that's why they wanted me on board. But before they got a hold of me, my life has basically been spiraling downwards. So,
what system are you running that in?
Pathfinder.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds way awesome. I'll be right back again.
The other campaign I'm doing is a Star Wars one, where I get to play a Chiss Jedi.
A Sith Jedi?
No, a Chiss.
Oh, I was like, I don't think that works, Gavin.
No, my character's like goal is to kill the Sith, and we're playing right at the Clone Wars. So eventually, I'm gonna hunt down Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine and put a lightsaber through them.
I am doing a 5e campaign tomorrow.
I heard 5th edition's like really cool.
I like 5e.
Yeah.
Warlock, way to go. Or Bard. That shit's broke.
I don't know, I'm trying Sorcerer.
Go ahead, Derek.
I was saying I'm trying Sorcerer.
Nice.
Wait, what do you guys think of this idea? I've been thinking about it. It's for Pathfinder. It's in the future, you play as a cavalier, except your horse is actually a mech.
Nice. It'd be awesome
would
if
be
it
really
was
cool.
a mech that can transform into like a giant motorcycle or something.
Yeah.
I was going to
that'd
say,
be
for
really
5th
cool.
edition, there's a group of guys up here, guys and gals, who all do dungeon mastering. And we have gotten together once, we're about to do it again, to do a game where each of us will be the dungeon master for like 30 minutes at a time. And we just kind of show each other what we do as DMs and learn from each other. And it was a 5th edition game, and I made a 5th edition bard who was a dwarf. And I named him Drumdane based on Techno Viking. It was awesome. I'm kind of hoping we can play with the same characters when we meet again. All right. So whenever Charlie gets back here, we'll get going again. I want to make sure I've got the right Benny count right now, too. So, Jan, I have 2 Bennies left. Is that accurate? Okay. You're muted.
That's the count that I thought I had, so that works for me.
Cool. And then Edmund, I've got 2 for you, too.
No, I'm at 1.
1? Okay. And then Brass, I've got 1 for you.
Yes.
Okay. Cool, cool. All right. What do you guys think of the first Megavar adventure?
Kyle, I like how yours says 1 Benny, 2 Benny, 3 Bennies on your page.
Does it?
Well, I kept trying to like make it go away. I don't know how to make it go away.
So the yellow and white one is your lower third thing, and so I'm pretty sure if you go to the lower third section, you can choose to show or hide it. Like I can do that. I can toggle it right now.
But I think that's in his dice one, though.
It's in the dice stream. Yeah. So you'll have to go to the dice stream section and hide it.
And there's a thing that says show/hide. There you go.
Did I win?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, on my screen it's cutting off like the bottom half of mine, so I can't see my lower third. I can see everybody else's just fine.
Weird. Welcome back, Charlie. All right. So can you guys see how many viewers we have as we go through?
How many what?
How many viewers we have as we go through, or am I the only one?
I haven't
Is
been
there a number up at the top right?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't actually really know.
There is one.
I was looking at the actual YouTube video, and it was telling me how many viewers we had.
Oh, yeah. I noticed it's a couple seconds delayed, too, so I guess we do.
Yeah. When you were hearing yourself earlier, that was me watching the video.
Ah, got it.
If you were our one viewer, then, Charlie.
It's
No, I
possible.
stopped watching hours ago.
Yeah. At one point we had 4, like right when it first started, but
One of those was me.
yeah.
We would get canceled, I think, by the second episode.
The network came back. They're not feeling too good about the show, guys.
They don't know.
No, we have to continue. My main goal is to meet Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton? Okay, yeah, we can put it
It's
on. I'll
Will.
have to shout out Will Wheaton.
Well, he's just my stepping stone to get to meet Felicia Day. So,
All right.
because we're gonna grow up and we're gonna be best friends.
And you could never meet Felicia Day just on her own, right?
Yeah, and I'm gonna grow up and marry Hugh Jackman.
We do have that bookmark.
When are we considered grown up?
I'm still not.
It's a very good question.
I don't intend to.
I'm still south of 30, so I'm good, right?
Yeah. Once you hit 30, though, I'm pretty sure that means you're not just old, like grown up. You're old like a fart, you know. So hey, Eggle, how many bennies do you have? 2. Okay, I wanted to make sure I had my counts correct.
Yeah, I'm changing my my text as I use bennies.
Okay, good. I'm trying to do the same thing, but I can't always keep up with it. Although, by the way, it says GM Bennies 1. I also have Bennies for my wildcard characters, and so that's not necessarily accurate.
You're cheating.
Do what?
You're cheating.
Yeah, absolutely. No, for GMs, the rule is that you get 1 Benny for each player, and then you also get 2 for every wildcard that you have. But they're supposed to be kept separate, so I'm just labeling the one that I have for general use.
Did you use one already for him?
No, he had 2 when he just used the 1 and it failed.
Yeah. By the way, I need to make a check. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and come back and start the game again.
Just so you guys know, I'm typing all this up as we go. So
Nice, awesome. So you guys are at this cottage, right? And it's late enough in the day that the sun's gonna set, and it's gonna be nighttime in the Blackwood in just a few hours, and so you don't have a whole lot of time. As you're looking at this cottage, you see that it's really ramshackle. You see that there's a little bit of a clearing around you, and it's been trampled down, but you can't quite tell if it's the wagon or if it was something before. The river isn't really big. It's kind of more like a creek or something, and it does go off to the south, and it kind of winds through the trees and then disappears down there. So what are you guys doing immediately after you come to a stop?
Well, I fell out. Didn't someone else fall out?
Yeah, so I'm going to try a spirit check to not be shaken anymore.
Okay.
I'm going to do that when he's done.
Alright, I'm going to try to take charge of the group. That's kind of what my character wants to do a lot. We need 2 people to search inside the building, and I'm going to go get firewood, and we need someone to secure the ox and maybe start moving the stuff inside.
Hold on. Before anyone moves anywhere, I just need to stop and listen. I need to listen for a sec, so everyone shut up.
Okay. So before we do that, I want to resolve the shaken for Brass. So what did you roll?
I got a 3.
A 3. Okay, so you're still shaken for now. You're just kind of like, and shaken according to the rules doesn't necessarily mean like you're in a state of shock or something, but it's like you. It's almost like, you know, you're about to cross the street and then a car jumps in front of you really quickly and you just barely don't get hit. It's not like you're hurt. It's just you're like, whoa, you're tied up somehow, you know.
Yeah.
Is it Bress and Jan that fall off their cart?
Yeah, and Jan, go ahead and give me a roll as well.
Yeah. I got a 2 and a 4, so I got a 4.
Okay, and we're using the latest update for the Shaken rules. It came out just a few weeks ago, and so in the book, you have to get a raise to be able to act on the same round, but with this new rule, as long as you succeed, you're free to act that same round.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Can I keep going then?
Yeah. So first of all, Eggle wanted to listen. So did you want to make a notice check?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a D6 plus 2 because of my keen ear.
Yeah.
I'm going to listen too, just because he's doing it as well.
Now, if I got a 4 and then I got plus 2, does that explode or no? It's just 6.
If you got a, what did you
it's just 6.
roll the 4 on?
It's a D6 plus 2 because of my keen
Yeah.
ear. And I rolled a 4. Oh, but I need to roll wild too.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 6, so that explodes. That's another 6. And a 5.
7.
So that's 18 total. No, 19 total.
Jeez, so that's 3 successes. No, it's a success with 3 raises. So yeah, you like in this moment of silence, you just totally tune in, and you can hear the entire Blackwood around you. There are birds that are chirping. You can actually hear that, like in some sections of the forest, the birds are chirping, and in some they aren't. Usually that means there's something over there. You can hear in the very distance the wolf apes yipping and howling, but it seems like there's this odd kind of peace that's settled over this area for now. Edmund, did you want to also roll?
Yeah, I got 7.
7? Okay. You're listening, and you can hear that there doesn't seem to sound like there's any sort of threat. Your time as a lumberjack in the past tells you that like you have a little bit of a danger sense about wild animals and that sort of thing. And you're not picking up anything there.
Okay.
Eggle, what do you got?
Can I hear anything from inside the cottage?
You can. You can hear frantic whispering inside.
Can I do a listen check?
Sure.
Okay. I got a 2 plus a 2.
All right. So you got a 4. You can definitely hear some stuff. You feel like the danger of the wolf apes has passed, but your result doesn't really merit anything.
I'm kind of distracted because Mutt's licking my face, and I'm trying to get him out of my face while I'm listening.
Yeah. All right. You get a Benny for that one. There will, by the way, be a law of diminishing returns to a certain extent about giving bennies for that sort of thing. Like, eventually, if you're mentioning Mutt, all the time, or if you guys are invoking your hindrances all the time, then I'll save them for moments where it's like, oh yeah, that's a perfect time to use that hindrance or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, but I'm always going to mention Mutt. Just
No, yeah, and that's why I said it, because I knew you were going to keep doing it. So I was like, yeah, I just don't want you to feel bad if I don't give you a benny for it or something.
Jesus Christ! Come on.
Okay, so that happened. Bress, do you want to try to recover from shaking again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, well, my D4 exploded.
All right.
Fucking
So
cat.
5.
5 total?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So yeah, you're recovered from shaken. What was happening while you were shaken? What was going on with you?
I fell, right?
You did, yeah, you fell off the wagon.
So I kind of just bumped my head a little bit, and my vision was a little cloudy, and my hearing was a little kind of knocked off, and I just couldn't really just shake it.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. And then, so you guys have, I know that Edmund was talking about doing some investigation. I know that Eggle wanted to listen first, and I know that Eggle and Jan both have branches growing out of their necks, or was that Eggle and Bress?
Jan.
Eggle and Jan, yeah. So go ahead and talk amongst yourselves.
We should remove those.
There's people in the cottage.
Well, let's make ourselves known then. I go over and knock on the door.
I'll stand back here.
I think we should get a peek inside before they know we're here.
Well, if they're whispering, they probably already know we're here.
Yeah,
I don't know they're whispering.
It was a huge commotion.
All right, and you take lead on that.
All right, I just knock on the door some more.
All right. There's no answer.
Are we not more concerned about these branches coming out of our necks?
You can be. Well, he's knocking on the door. You can try to like take it out or something.
Well, I show him my axe and say, I can help you with that.
Oh shit. I don't know.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
You want to, Jan?
Is there a roll that I can see if I know how to get it out?
Yeah, you could make a survival check, I guess.
I'm good with that. Yeah, okay, I'm rolling a d8. I got an 8.
8.
Plus a 1, plus a 2, so I got 8, 9, 10, 11.
11. Okay, so that's a success with a raise. You know that it is a type of curse, and in order to get rid of it, you can try to pull it out, but it's going to be a pretty painful process, and you're going to have to suffer a wound to be able to pull it out. Or you can try and like bless it away with the ancestors or with some other source of magic.
I mean, I'm spitting words out the ass right now.
Well, like actual magic or just
actual magic? Yeah. The flavor charms aren't going to work. And then, so
do I know what happens if it stays?
If it stays, it kind of itches, but you don't know really like what's going to happen because magic is kind of unique each time. What was that, Eggle? What's going on?
I'm decorating my branch with ancestor beads. I'm like hanging them off the branch.
Hanging them off. Okay.
Did he
You
tell us
notice
that
that
we can remove it by pulling it?
What?
Did he tell us that we can remove it by pulling it out?
It's gonna hurt you.
Well, that's something that Jan knows, but it's something that he hasn't shared.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm gonna try opening the door.
Okay. You go to open it, and it's barred from the inside.
Oh,
What?
you already knocked. Never mind.
Yeah. So it's barred from the inside, and you kind of like shake the handle a little bit, and then from inside you hear, "We told you, you took all we had. Leave us alone." And it's a woman's voice.
Well, I'm gonna say, my name is Edmund Hightower. I'm a sentinel. We seek refuge.
Prove it.
How?
What? There's a pause, and you can hear some whispering on the other side of the door. You can tell that it's a woman whispering, and then there's some other high-pitched voice that's whispering. And finally it's like, well, back away from the door.
I do as they say.
Okay. And where are the rest of you guys right now? So you've got one wagon that's pretty much right up against the cottage, and then you've got another one that's a little bit out in the yard, closer to the river, and then you've got the yard itself. So where are you guys arranged right now?
If anything, all I've done is step off of the cottage, and I am just on my knees muttering every fucking chant and word that I know right now.
All right. I'll go ahead and give you a Benny for that.
Jan is leaning up against the wagon that is near the cabin. On one hand, he's petting Mutt's head, so he's just petting the air beside him. And with his other hand, he's like twirling a leaf on one of the branches out of his neck. And he says, "What happened to our driver?"
Oh, yeah. So that second wagon, I think, was being led by a woman, and she is there. She's just kind of like slumped up against the wagon. She's got this wide-eyed look, like, "Oh, I'm just a caravan driver. I wasn't expecting this."
Then Jan smiles and winks at her, and says, "You got any pruning shears?"
She doesn't even pay attention to him. She's just like, oh man. Like, it's very clear that she shook up pretty bad. And then Bress, what are you doing?
I'm kind of backed up towards the back of the closer caravan or carriage. I don't want these people to see me right off the bat.
Okay, and this is a good time to describe what everybody looks like too. So, Bress, let's go ahead and start with you. Like, what are you wearing? What kind of physical features do you have? What's going on?
I'm wearing just your typical leather armor, but pretty evident is large growths of bark on my forearms, my left shoulder, and my legs from the knees down. It's pretty clear that I'm elf marked.
Right. All right. So everybody would know that he has some sort of elven ancestor, whether it's immediate or further down his family line, one way or another.
Oh,
his
I
family
know.
line is tainted. Yeah, let's go ahead and do Eggle next. So, Eggle.
What do I look like? I am completely covered head to toe with cloth and leather. There is almost no part of me that is showing. The only parts of skin that are clearly visible are the layer above my head from my nose to my forehead and the tears that are in my gloves because my gloves are all torn up. I've got a quiver on my back with a backpack. The quiver is part of the backpack. And what else do you need? I can't hear you.
Major physical features. You can go ahead and talk about your reaction to Bress as well, too.
Oh, okay. Well, I suppose, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my character sheet. I suppose in terms of major physical features, I'm a little tall for an elf, maybe a little shorter than average height. Every time my eyes have been changing color the entire time we've been adventuring together, so that's fun. And my most prominent feature is my tabard, which is my cowl, is imprinted with a black hand. That's pretty much physically everything about me.
Cool.
My reaction.
What color are your eyes right now?
Right now, they're sort of between blue and gray. They're in that period where they're shifting lighter to darker.
Cool.
My reaction to Bress is I'm not a fan of elves, elf-marked, anything that has to do with elves at this point.
Cool. All right. So, Jan, what do you look like?
Well, I'm the same height as Bress, and I think we're both big and kind of brawny guys. And I have like a cartoon character of my guy that you can see there. But I'm wearing leather armor that looks like I made it myself, so it's kind of fancy looking. And I'm just a woodland lumberjack guy. So big, tall, brownie.
And Edmund, what about you?
I'm 5'10", kind of a heavier guy. I'm in plate from head to toe. On my chest plate, there's actually a tree. and because it's one of the symbols of the Sentinels. And on my shield is a tower, which was a sign of, I think there's a city or a group of people, something to do with a wall.
Wall. There's Span, which is kind of like a choke point for trade. And then there's Sentry Grove, which is like the home of the Sentinels.
I think it was, what was the first one called?
Span?
Span? That might be what I was thinking. I just remember reading somewhere about like a walled city or a castle or a fort.
Maybe Sky Pillar?
Yes, I think it might have been Sky Pillar. And he has
yeah, so Sky Pillar is like in Kung Fu Panda, whenever they go to that section where it's just like a bunch of rocky spires with bridges connecting them and it's all misty down below.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, and then down at the very end of this mountain range, there's a monastery where like the greatest warriors train. And so it's definitely a place that Sentinels would aspire to visit. It's like a pilgrimage they would take.
Where he was set as a guard for a while, which is why he has a shield from that place.
Cool. All right. Well, it was pertinent to describe what we look like because as you were backing away from the door, you notice that there's this face that peeks into one of the windows in the cottage, and it looks out at you guys, and it says, "You're a sentinel?" And it's the woman's face. And she says, "What are you doing with a bunch of elves?"
These are my friends. I promise they're safe.
Wait, with elves?
Though, right?
Do what?
I'm human.
You got a branch growing out of your neck.
Oh, well, yeah.
They've been cursed. I'm hoping to remedy this in the night, but we need someplace to stay before dark falls.
Oh, ancestors watch over us. Cursed? I think you better just move on. We've had our share of troubles here already.
Well, I promise I'll get rid of the curse. Now let us in.
You have intimidate?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, give me an intimidate check.
I will. I got 11.
11? Wow. Well, she got a 2.
Well, both my 8 and my 6 exploded, so.
Oh, God. And when you do that, by the way, when you do your intimidate check, you're not adding both of those dice together, right?
No.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
I just rolled them separately and then the highest.
She's like, oh yes, no, we don't want any more trouble. I'll just son, stand back. And so she goes over and she disappears from the window for a second, and then the door opens, and she pokes her head out, and let me show you what this gal looks like here. Right, so this is what this gal looks like. And you can't see the sun yet, but eventually that's what the sun will look like too.
Why does it say Doctor Who?
It's where I found the picture.
Hey, what's that blue police box?
Pay no mind. All right, so she says, you swear on your honor you're a sentinel.
I swear on my honor.
Well, if only it showed up a couple days earlier, my husband might still be with us.
What happened?
Oh, it was, and she starts to choke up. She says, "Oh, bandits! There were bandits that came by and they threatened to take everything we had, and my husband he stood up to him because he's always been so strong, and then they killed him and they took everything anyway. We don't have anything left. We were going to try to last the night just once more and then make it over to Otto's watch, the next village over."
Well, we'll make sure that you get there.
Well, you would do that?
My guy takes off his helmet. Of course we would.
Where did these bandits go?
So wait a second, I just want to make sure. Was Edmund wiping away a tear?
Yes, he was.
Okay, that deserves a penny.
Edmund.
Yes?
Ask more about these bandits.
Tell me, do you know where these bandits are at?
Oh, they have some place holed up here in the countryside, and they strike out and They just pillage everywhere. They haven't been able to pillage the village yet because it's too big. They keep it well stocked with defenses, but we had a small store, and then they took it away from us, and now we've got nothing.
This kind of thing can't go on. Here, let's get ready for the night, and we can talk when the sun sets.
Well, you seemed like okay. So they kind of welcome you in, and they told the truth. Like this cottage is bare bones on the inside. There is a pile of straw in the corner where it's clear they've been sleeping, and there's like a table that was too heavy to move, and everything else is gone. There's not really any food. There's no equipment. Nothing like that. And so she takes you in, and she says, the ancestors, I thought they had forsaken us, but that you are here, they must have had just a little bit of hope held out for us still. So, are we leaving for Otto's watch in the morning, or are we? What do we do?
We can leave in the morning. For now, there's something I have to take care of.
Well, what's that?
The curse.
The curse. Oh, yes, the curse, of course. Well, how did it happen?
Some sort of tree spirit.
An elf? Was it an elf?
Probably.
And what? She kind of looks over at Eggle, and she's hesitant to talk to him because of the branch growing out of his neck. But she's like, "What? What did you say?"
Wait, hold on. Real quick, outside, is a collar an elf?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Then yes, it was an elf.
An elf.
A collar.
Oh, ancestors watch over us. Is an elf here? Well, we're not safe tonight. We'll never survive if an elf is in the area.
The elf has been taken. He is nowhere nearby. He has been taken care of.
But look, and she gestures over at a place that's conspicuously empty, and she says, "Our ancestor fane. The outlaws even took our ancestor shrine. We have no protection against the Blackwoods."
I have warded the hut. The hut is protected. As long as you are with me, you are safe from spirits.
You have?
Yes.
Oh, do you know the rights of the ancestors?
I do.
Oh.
Well, here, take these ancestor beads. Give some to your son as well.
But they would never work for us. They're not our ancestors. You keep them, please. You keep them.
I insist. They'll protect you. They'll protect you.
Well, thank you very much. And so she takes. So are you handing her like strands of beads, or are you handing her individual beads?
Strand. They each get a small strand of beads, a little smaller than a bracelet.
Okay, so she takes them and she kind of slips one over her wrist, and she looks down and she's, oh yeah, like you can tell she takes real comfort from this, even though she was doubtful that it was going to work. Like it was a big deal for her. So
it'll work.
For that. Oh, it'll work. That's a promise from you to me. All right, so what are the rest of you doing at this point? Jan, or let's do Bress first because Jan's muted.
Bress is actually kind of standing in the corner. This really small, confined space, a single mother with a little boy. He's not doing too well in here.
The little boy is definitely looking at you too. Like it's clear this boy has never seen an elf marked before, and he has a lot of fear in his eyes, but there's almost as much curiosity and wonder, you know.
And on Bress's face, you can kind of see a very sad reminiscence.
Reminiscence, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And the little boy just kind of walks up and says, "Does it hurt?"
What hurt?
All of the. And he doesn't really know what to say, and the mom is like, "Oh, hush, son, hush."
No, it's fine.
No,
it doesn't hurt.
And the mom kind of like huffs and looks away. And the boy's like, "What? How did it happen?"
I was born this way.
So it's not the curse?
I mean, yes, it's the curse.
Do you have anything like a... I guess there isn't really like a bluff check or anything. Do you have persuasion?
I do not.
Okay, so it'll be a D4 -2 to try and convince these people that it's really the curse.
Oh yeah, no, I rolled a 1.
So the mom looks over and she says, "Filthy elf marked," and she spits on the ground.
Please, I mean you no harm. I am only here to help you.
My character is gonna like stand up angrily. Ma'am, you will show respect.
She's still a little intimidated by it. She's like, and she doesn't apologize. She just acts like it didn't even happen.
That's good enough.
I have a good thing. Okay, so while they were all doing that, Jan hadn't come inside yet because he was making sure Mutt pooped and peed outside before going inside. You know, he's a good house guest. He doesn't want his dog doing stuff inside. So when Mutt does his business, comes in, and when they walk in, Jan says to the woman, "Don't worry, he don't bite," and just kind of walks on by.
Who don't bite?
Yep.
Let's take care of that curse now, and I'm gonna try taking him outside.
Okay. You're gonna try to kill the curse outside?
Yeah. Well, I need breath to help hold them down, and unless they give me a different plan, chopping is the idea that I'm gonna have.
Chopping?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Jan speaks up and says, "No, wait a minute. That's going to hurt us too much. We need to find a priest, a classicist, get this done."
Well, we don't have time for that. We don't know what the curse can do.
The woman's kind of poking her head out the door, and she says, "Oh, there's not even a classicist in Otto's watch."
I'm chopping it. I'm gonna go over. I'm assuming they have like a block for where they cut wood.
They do.
And this is gonna be very reminiscent of the beginning of Skyrim.
Oh, jeez.
You can cut mine. You can cut mine to a short stump, but you're gonna leave the stump.
Should we pull it out instead?
No.
Okay. Well then, just lay your head down here.
We're going to get this curse reversed, but you may reduce the branch to a stump so that it doesn't hinder any of my movement.
All right.
So
Brett.
before Edmund goes to be, Jan uses this hatchet and just kind of clips it off where he wants it.
So you're good. So let me ask you this: does anybody have any sort of magical ability?
Nope.
I play a flute.
I'm superstitious.
So I'm thinking maybe, like, mechanically, we as players know that it's going to take some type of real magic to be able to cleanse this. But your players, like your characters, they think that like all the rituals and things are real, and so like all the rituals and things that they do, they think that they are genuinely effective. And so I would say that in order to be able to cleanse the people of the curse, it would be like a spirit check, and it would probably be at like a -6 or something. But if Egil will do his ritual stuff, and if Edmund will play his flute, and if they do it maybe in front of that ancestor shrine that's been defiled, and if they can find some way to empower the ancestor shrine, then I would be willing to lower that to a -3 spirit check to be able to rid yourself of the curse.
I'm just going to throw this out here. Since these are like trees, and my ancestors are lumberjacks going way back, does that give me any idea how to get rid of a tree?
I mean, all you can think is to chop it off.
Do I have no? I mean, I
rolled
guess
an 11.
the chance that I know, the chance that I would have thrown out would have no real magical effect. I would have no. I know a lot about elves. Do I not know how to get rid of this?
You know that it needs to be cleansed, and you know that people like classicists are the people who are most suited to cleansing curses.
Okay. Well,
you've also heard about these people from the Widelands who can cure curses too, but you probably haven't met one.
Well, then I'm going to go ahead and let him chop it to a stump because I'll never pass a spirit check.
Okay.
Well, I'll try it.
No matter how much blessing and chanting we do, I'll never pass a spirit check.
Okay.
If you say it's at a -3, but they do that, I'll try it.
It's a -3 spirit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm
Let's
gonna
just
try
finish
that.
this up, though. What does this look like?
Well, do I need to describe what they're doing, or do they describe what they're doing?
They would, yeah.
But wait.
They would have to volunteer the action.
We're not in front of the ancestor statue. It's Tom.
You're outside right now, but there is that defiled ancestor shrine inside, and there is a place where you could put mementos to the ancestors on it.
Okay.
I went inside.
You went inside?
Yeah.
I thought everybody came outside together, though.
Oh, I didn't know we came back outside.
Yeah, I don't remember coming outside.
No, Edmund took us outside so that he could chop the stuff off on the chopping block.
Successfully chop off. I rolled an 11.
That's true, yeah.
I said I've got a better idea. Why don't we try
First
praying?
of all, it did work for Eggle. You did manage to chop the thing off down to like a stump on his neck. And then maybe Jan saw that and was like, I've been around axes before. Let's just see here.
Okay, why don't we try inside? You play your flute. You say your prayers, and I'm gonna say some prayers to Jan going back.
Yeah, it's Jan's all the way down, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to say some prayers to Jan inside by the ancestor shrine. How are you going to empower it?
I've got my hatchet laid out in front of me because it's the closest thing I own to an axe at the moment, and I've got my ancestor beads in my other hand, and I'm thinking back to my ancestors, Jan, and looking for all the wisdom of the lumberjacks through my generations of my ancestors, hoping to get rid of this tree growing out of my neck.
All right. Anybody else?
And Mud is curled up at my feet and kind of whimpering because he can tell I'm feeling bad. So.
Sounds good. Does anybody else want to contribute something to the action?
Yeah, my axe is an heirloom, so I'm going to place it on the shrine, and then I'm going to play my flute.
Okay. Sounds good. So what kind of music does Edmund play on his flute?
Like alternative rock, usually.
I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend.
I don't know, just like flute music. Maybe like what Picard plays in that episode he won like a musical award for.
Sounds good. And then Bress, are you doing anything?
No, I'm literally staring at these people. I have no idea what they're doing. I have no idea what they're talking about.
All right. So, and then Eggle, what are you doing at this point?
Chanting.
Chanting?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, cool.
I need to be chanting, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we will go ahead and lower it down to a -3. And I feel like it's got to be Jan that makes the spirit check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I do that?
Yeah, give me that check.
Okay, my dice fell off, so I'm going to roll it again. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, that was a 1, and my wild die is a 4. Nope.
Ah, too bad. All right, so you guys, the minutes drag on, the music is going on in the background, the chanting is happening. You're really thinking back about all these Jans from your family's past, and there's just nothing. Like, minutes go by, and it doesn't even stop itching. Like, there's no relief. Just doesn't seem like it's gonna work.
Well, can I try?
Can you try to remove yours?
Yeah, is there a penalty?
No, well, I mean, it'll still be the -6, or the -6, but
No, -3.
if people contribute, then it'll be a -3.
Well, are people contributing? I mean, I'm not chanting at this. Oh no, I'd be chanting still.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, we'd all keep doing what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, then go ahead and make that check.
0. Wait, I rolled a wild though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. Well, it was a 5.
A 5? So
Yeah.
that's 2 total? Yeah. No, it doesn't work for you either. You don't know what's going on.
Okay, so I said earlier that I kind of trimmed it up with my hatchet, but I guess I didn't do that because we tried this. So after time, I just kind of get fed up, grab my hatchet, and just...
Do what now? You cut out a little bit.
Okay, so after a while and it not working, I just get really frustrated, so I pick up my hatchet and just kind of trim it back, sort of like how Eggle had it.
Okay. So you guys
So I
now
need-
have 2 stumps on your necks.
Alright, never mind. Doesn't really matter for Eggle, but Jan, do you have is your neck exposed?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm gonna give you a blue cloth, and then kind of hint that you should wrap you up your neck.
That works. And Bress, so you said something down in the chat. Why don't you play that out for us?
While they're doing all of this, that I have no idea what it is, I pull out my book of classics, and I'm thumbing through, looking at all the pictures, trying to see if I can find a picture of something similar that has happened to somebody in these stories.
Okay. And so I imagine that if you've got a book of classics, it's probably the Classic of Tales, which is just like collected folklore and stuff.
Yeah.
You know that elves can leave a mark on people. Looking through the book, there are a lot of stories of people who are marked by the elves, and it's actually something that you're really familiar with. And you know that it can happen permanently from birth in certain cases, like if someone's parentage includes an elf, or it can happen temporarily, like until it's cured, which seems to be the case now. And so you don't necessarily find out anything new, you just know that it's definitely not something that is totally unique to this situation.
I kind of take the book and I take it over to Gavin, what's your name?
Edmund.
Edmund. Towards one of the stories that I think is talking about this, and I just kind of hand the book to him. I don't say anything.
Okay. So what does it say? I was kind of not paying attention.
Oh, it's fine. So basically, there are stories about this. One story in particular is about how elves can mark people, and how sometimes the mark is from birth, if a person's parentage or lineage is that of an elf, or if an elf is somewhere hidden in there. And sometimes it's more like if an elf just touches you, you can sprout the mark, and you can keep the mark until it's permanent.
So it doesn't sound like it's something that's going to have bad effects. It's just something that...
Yeah, it's like, it would be like a social negative.
Okay.
In fact, you guys, Eggle and Jan, you're both going to suffer a -2 to your charisma right now, in addition to whatever negatives you already have.
Welcome to the club.
My charisma is like -5 then, probably.
Oh, jeez. Okay. So the attempt to cleanse the curse did not work, and you're losing daylight here. The woman actually interrupts you, and she says, it just doesn't seem like it's going to work. I don't think with our ancestor shrine defiled, I just don't think I don't think we're going to be able to cleanse the curse tonight. But look, the sun is setting, and you said there's an elf in the area. We're not protected here. Can you keep us safe?
Yes, of course.
What weapons do you have?
Well, my axe.
My bow.
Oh, are we playing out this scene?
doesn't say anything. He just kind of holds up his hatchet and his bow.
She's what is in your wagons?
Don't know. Didn't ask.
And she kind of looks at you and she's like, ugh. And so she just goes to the window and looks herself. And she's like, well, those crates, I mean, maybe we could build up a barricade of some kind, a wall maybe?
That's a good idea. Which is why I wanted to bring them inside in the first place.
Okay, so you guys want to bring the wagons, or bring the crates in?
Yeah.
I'm going to get firewood, too, for the night.
Okay, so tell you what, does anybody have investigate?
I do.
Nope.
You do have it,
Yeah.
Edmund?
Yeah, I learned it from a special lady.
Go ahead and give me that. It'll be at a -2 penalty.
I got 1. So.
1. You want to spend a penny on that, maybe?
Yeah, I'll spend a penny.
Okay, so I think you
Surely
got
I'm not
one
going to fail my first investigation check. Oh, I exploded 1.
Nice.
And I got 8.
8? Okay, so a success with a raise. Perfect. So you find out that there are several ways that you could work your ingenuity into some sort of defenses for this place. First of all, you could build up a bonfire. You could just chop a bunch of trees down, build up a big bonfire outside the place, and kind of use light to fight against the darkness of the Blackwood at night. Similarly, you could use the crates. You could set up like a barricade, maybe over the doors and windows or something like that, so it's harder for things to get inside the house. You could also, hide in the trees or something and try to set up an ambush. As you're looking over the wagons and gathering firewood and stuff, you realize there are enough materials here that you could make some makeshift bows. And there are plenty of arrows between everybody, and so maybe you could give a bow to this woman. The kid looks like he's probably too small to be able to actually shoot a bow, but she could probably help you out. And
Is the driver out of shock yet?
Do what?
Is the driver out of shock yet?
Yeah, she is, and she could definitely shoot a bow too.
Okay, well, can we do a combination of them?
There's one more thing too. You might be able to, you realize, like, it didn't work whenever you were trying to cleanse the curse from these people, but in a more general sense, if you were to pile up all of your ancestral artifacts and put them on the ancestor shrine and then do some sort of, like, ritual to cleanse them or something, you could maybe get a bonus there too. And so, based on those 5 options that you have, you can choose 3 of those. And this will be resolved as a dramatic task where you guys can try to build up your defenses against the coming night.
All right, well, I want to board up the windows, make bows, and then do a really big fire. And then I'm going to sleep outside.
What does everybody else have to say?
Based on past experiences, fire, anything man-made, and not being outside at night.
There's a lot of wisdom in that.
I'm going to be cleansing everything no matter what.
Okay.
Well, my plan is like sleep in front of the door, so anything out there, the only way into the house I want to be through the front door, and they'll have to get through me.
Okay.
Gotcha.
You might not be in front of that front door.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, the wilderness.
The collar was on 2 parts at once. We need to stick to one.
Can we reposition the wagons so they form like a triangle in front of the door, and so it kind of bottlenecks it to get through, or close it off completely so you have to go under the wagon to get through the door?
Absolutely, yeah. You could make that part of the barricade.
And we can have a bonfire inside of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I think we need shifts too.
We also bring the cow or the oxen inside if we can.
it's pretty common in medieval times for houses to double as barns, so it's more than appropriate to bring the oxen inside for the night. In fact, the door is pretty big to allow that exact sort of thing. So it sounds like the three that you guys want to do are the barricade, the bonfire, and the blessing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So each of these are going to be at a -2 because dramatic tasks are supposed to be difficult. The idea is that you're racing against time, and so you're kind of hurried, and the tasks themselves are difficult. You know, like I imagine you're going to take the wagons and maybe flip them up on their ends so that they're a little taller, and so that they can't move. And that's how you're going to set up the barrier. And then chopping enough firewood to create a bonfire that'll last all night is going to take some time. And then blessing is also going to take some time. So let's call it a survival check for the bonfire, and that'll be at a -2. And then there will be a spirit check for the blessing, and that will be at a -2. And then there will be what's the other one? The barricade. Let's call that a strength check. No, a vigor check.
That one.
And that'll be at a -2 as well.
I've got a good survival, so Jan will chop wood.
Am I making the spirit check then?
Yeah, and I would suggest, like, if somebody, maybe if Eggle doesn't have a very high spirit, then somebody else could help him out too. That would be totally fine.
Okay, my 4 exploded. So I got a 5, so I got a 3 total.
3 total?
It's minus
Anybody-
2, right?
Can anybody help him?
Well, okay. I'm confused. How many of the tasks can I do?
So we'll need one primary person for each task.
I'll do the
And then
barricade.
people can help out, but I'm going to say no more than one person can help. any
Okay,
given
well,
task.
I've got a D8 plus 2 for survival, so I'll do the chop wood as the main, but I have a D6 spirit, so I'll try to help with that. So I'm trying to get a raise to give them a +1, right?
Yes, yeah,
Success, I guess.
yeah.
Okay, it fell off, so I'm going to roll it again.
Okay.
So I got a 3 and a 3, so no. And no.
You're going to spend a Benny?
How many do I have left?
I think you've got 3.
Yeah, I'll do a minute.
Okay.
A 1 and a 3.
Ah, seriously, that's too bad.
I'm not helpful.
Okay, and then you also wanted to chop the wood, so why don't you guys roll that while you're going?
Okay. So it's a -2, so I'm just rolling a D8 and a D6. I got a 6.
So 6 works. So you managed to gather enough firewood. And then the barricade was the last one, so that's going to be a vigor check at -2.
Okay,
So I would suggest people with 2 best vigor would help out.
I got bigger. And I rolled a total of 7.
11?
7.
And then I'll do the I'll do the barricade as well.
Okay.
And explode. I got a 9.
Is that -2 as well?
7.
7? Okay. So that's still a success. And Edmund got a 9, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a success with a raise. So yeah, between the two of you, you managed to turn the wagons and the crates into a pretty formidable defense. And you said you wanted to set it up so that it's like a bottleneck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then Eggle. So you are going around. Describe how you're doing this whole thing inside.
Well, I'm not just doing it outside. I'm not just doing it inside. I'm start on the outside, and I am on the outside. I'm painting the sides of the walls with a clear liquid that's almost gel-like, but a little bit more like a runny staff. And then I go inside and I start lighting. It burns like incense, but it's not incense. It's like sage, but I start lighting herbs, specific herbs in different parts of the house, one for each corner and then one for the center. And I sit on my knees above the center one towards the back of the cottage and just start chanting silently.
Okay. Cool. All right. So as you're doing it, you are you're doing everything appropriately. You're doing it, with like your full intention or whatever, but there's this nagging doubt. You just can't. You can't shake it. Like you feel like you worry that it's not going to be enough. Maybe it's just you worrying, but you worry it's not going to be enough. And then for Jan with the bonfire, did anybody want to help him with that?
I can help. So that's survival?
Yeah.
So 7 minus 2 is 5.
5? That's still a success. So that is, and Jan, what did you roll?
6.
6. Okay, so that raises you to, like we'll say, +1 or 2. It'll be a +1. So you didn't quite get a raise. But you did manage to get a goodly amount of firewood, definitely enough to be able to burn all night. And you said you wanted to set that up within the choke point?
Well, just outside of it.
Just outside
well,
of it. Okay.
how much room is there? So we've got like the wagons in this kind of formation. We have room between the door and the wagons, so we can put this fire there.
So what I'm imagining is that the wagons are probably only about 10 feet long, and if you set them up in a configuration more or less like this, then you could do the bonfire like out in front of them, like this, or you could do it maybe like off to the side or something, but it would be kind of difficult to be able to put it inside and still allow people to fit there.
Okay, we'll put it in front then, with just enough room to escape if need be.
Okay, sounds good.
I can also just like throw wood out to it too.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so then we've got.
Well, and I've set Mutt to guard the oxen inside, so he's.
That's good. Okay, so I really liked all the details you guys came up with, so I'm going to award each of you a Benny. So, just to do a quick recap, I believe that puts Eggle at 5.
4.
4? All right. Thanks for the correction. And then it puts Jan at 3.
Yes.
And Edmund at 2, and Bress at 2.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So we are going to we're going to continue a little bit. So after you've set all this stuff up, you guys each have an opportunity to do your finishing touches. And this is going to look like a spirit check at -2, but you can all contribute to the success of, let's say a spirit check. This is the quiet before the storm, where you're making peace with whatever because you don't actually know if you're going to survive the night. There are countless stories of the night falling and people never seeing the dawn. So make your spirit checks. It's just going to be 1, but we'll do, whoever got the highest will be the primary, and then everybody else can support them. And the success will be +1, a raise will be +2.
Well, I'm going to play my flute, and I rolled a 5.
5?
I'm kind of sitting out on the porch playing.
Wait,
Okay.
it's spirit minus what?
Spirit -2.
Alright, then I got a 1.
I got a 1.
All right.
I got a 3.
All right,
We all
and then, Edmund, what was yours?
5.
5? Okay. So then Edmund was the only one that succeeded in this last round. The rest of you are pretty nervous about what's coming up. So what I would like to know is how were you doing your final preparations? Like what were you doing specifically? And why did you fail? Why did it not help? So let's start with Eggle.
Why did it fail?
First of all, what were you doing?
Well, I was on my knees chanting in the cottage.
Okay.
The reason it failed is because I kept the stump on my neck began throbbing harder, and I kept seeing flat black flashes and faces and hands and teeth and hearing whispers in my ear.
Okay.
I was distracted.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right, Jan, what about you?
I'll be right back.
Wait, well, I'm back in the back of the cabin, kind of trying to set up a spot that I can snipe from my bow. And while I'm trying to do that, Mutt keeps getting up in my face, wanting attention, and just distracting me. So I start playing with him instead of getting ready for a fight.
All right.
So I'm just sitting in the back, like throwing a little, like, well, I'm using one of my arrows as a thing for him to fetch, and I'm just kind of throwing it a distance, and he won't fetch, so I'll go and grab it and walk back and throw it again. And I'm sure, like, the lady that lives there is just looking at me oddly.
All right. And then, Edmund, what about you?
Like I said, I was on the porch playing my flute, and I'm confident that it's scaring away spirits.
Awesome.
So.
And then, Bress, last but not least.
I'm over by the fire, and I'm shadowboxing. I'm just trying to pump myself up, getting ready for whatever's going to come, and trying to clear my mind for nothing but the fight. But thoughts of the woman and her child in that cottage keep popping up in my mind, and then images of my mother keep popping up in my mind, and I can't seem to focus.
All right, cool. Well, I really liked all that stuff too, so I'm going to award you guys each another Benny. And at this point, I need to call a quick 2-minute break so that I can go pee again. So I'll be right back.
All righty.
So when the DM hands out so many bennies, that usually means we're all about to die.
Good thing we got those.
I guess
Remember
we're
to
playing
to save your life.
or we're all just really good at role play.
Oh, by the way, Gavin,
Yeah?
when I gave you that book to read, and you were kind of like, what's the story say and everything, and I just kind of like looked at you, you kind of get the sense that I probably couldn't read it.
Oh, okay. Well, I read it out loud for the group, so.
Yeah. But Bress is illiterate.
He is.
Illuminated manuscript, and you were illiterate? That thing's got to be worth a lot.
Well, if my character finds out, he'll definitely read to you if you want.
There's a good thing there's pictures in that book.
Yeah, that's what he does. He looks at all the pictures.
I'm probably going to say that there's most of those that are floating around in this world do not have pictures. That's not something that would be normal, I don't think.
You paid extra for the color book. I don't like this calm before the storm.
How well do our characters know each other? Did we just like meet the day before or something?
I figured we just met like during the caravan.
I figured we all got hired individually for the caravan job.
And I think you were 2 days into your 4-day trip on the caravan ride too.
Yeah, because my character already feels like he's defensive of everyone.
If you spent any time in Span, you probably knew at least what my name was.
I've heard of all of them.
I like to think that my character is well known.
You're not.
Straight up famous.
You hear everything.
Okay. So, you guys are each preparing yourselves in the way that you prefer. Eggle is going all around the house. He's chanting. Jan is trying to focus, but he just can't stop paying attention to Mutt. That little rascal is just so adorable. Bress is, he's bobbing and weaving out in the yard maybe, or wherever he is. He's just getting himself ready. And Edmund, there's this kind of almost supernatural peace that has fallen over him as he's playing his flute. But all of you at the same moment, whether it's a tickle on the back of your neck or a really acute visual sense or whatever, you all realize that the sun has set and night has fallen. And there's a moment of quiet where the birds stop singing and the wind stops blowing through the trees, and you can tell now is the time of night. Now is the time when things should be sleeping and should be kept safe away from the Blackwood. And in this moment, you have time to think maybe one thought to yourself. And then you hear it, slowly at first and quietly. Tra-la-li-lay, not safe today. The Blackwood's all a-flutter. And then it just keeps growing a little louder with every second and a little quicker. And you can tell that the caller is getting closer. And in the background, you can hear the woman quieting her child. Her child has started to cry. The caravan driver is keeping herself together more so than she was before, but you can tell she is not looking forward to what's about to come. And then you heard the singing, and now you hear da-doom, 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 da-doom. And you look over. I need everybody to make a notice check right now.
Is this a notice here?
It is a notice hearing. Hearing would apply.
Explosion. Got to 21.
Holy crap!
I exploded 3 times.
That's wonderful.
I got a 12.
Okay, so 12 and 21 and 3?
Yeah.
Oh man, with your +2?
With my perk, I got a 1 both times.
Jeez,
Yeah.
what about you, Edmund?
Yeah, I snake eyed too and got a 3.
Ah, bummer. All right, well, so Jan and Bress, whether you hear it or whether you see it, it doesn't really matter. You notice that the sound and the approach of the caller is coming from off to the left, if you're standing like at the front door of this cabin. And you see, like, you look off into the forest, and it's nighttime, and the bonfire is stoked. It's roaring really high, but still, like, through the flickering light in the trees, you can see there's a drum, and it's a big drum. It's like, I don't know, maybe 5 feet wide and 4 feet tall or something like that. And the drum is moving through you, through the forest. It's like that scene in the Fellowship of the Rings, when they're in the Shire still, and they encounter the rider for the first time, and it shows Frodo, and it's like it zooms into Frodo, but the background zooms out at the same time. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's that sort of thing. You can see this drum coming towards you, but at the same time, the forest is kind of like widening and getting smaller, and it just boggles your mind. But on top of this giant drum is this little caller dancing and tapping out the rhythm. That's safe today. The Blackwood's all aflutter. And when this caller says, when it says a flutter, you hear this noise. It's like a droning, a low, dull droning. And you all recognize this sound. In fact, you heard it just earlier today, and it claimed the lives of more than one guard, more than one of your fellows on this caravan trip. And then you notice that the caller dancing on top of this thing is also tossing this cluster, and the cluster is about, I don't know, it's about the size of a beach ball or something, but it's elongated. Looks kind of like a bushel of bananas or something, but it's scarlet red, and it's streaked with yellow all the way through. And the caller is like, "Tra-la-li-lay, not safe today, die, die, die!" And this caller throws this cluster at you. So where is everybody positioned right now?
Right in the front door. Well, like a little bit out.
All right, and then Eggle, what about you?
At this point, I would have been at a window if there's a window.
In a window, so you're inside the cabin and you're looking out the window.
Yeah.
Cool. Jan, what about you?
I was up near Edmund at the door.
Okay, so you're
Can
outside.
I see? Well, I'm inside. I'm at the door.
Okay, so the door is open then.
I don't know. No, I'm okay.
I mean,
Hold
it
on.
would be easy enough to close the door, obviously.
Well, that's what I'm thinking I would do, because I know what these are, right?
Oh yeah, these are cluster hornets.
Do I know if they can get in the building?
They can get in all kinds of nooks and crannies. They're about the size of a fist, but they can still, they can fit through anything that a fist can fit through.
Well, what kind of walls does that have?
They're kind of ramshackle. It's wooden. It's a log cabin, basically, but instead of having thick logs that make up the walls, it's more like boards that are planed and whatever. And there are cracks in there. The cracks, you managed, as you were preparing things and building up the barricade, you managed to fortify some of these cracks, etc. But a tenacious swarm of cluster hornets could definitely worm their way through if they tried hard enough.
Okay. Okay. So that's what I see. Am I allowed to take an action, or are we just waiting at the moment?
Right now, we're just describing where you are. We're going to do actions in just a second.
I'm at the door, and the door is open at the moment.
Okay. And then, Bress, what about you?
I'm just to the left of the fire.
Just to the left of the fire. Okay. So you are between the fire and the collar, then?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So Bress, separated from the group, isolated, with nothing between him and the wilderness but some bare earth. You see this giant bushel of cluster hornets flying towards you, and it actually soars overhead. It doesn't come at you specifically, but it flies overhead and it detonates right inside the barricade. And so we're going to draw initiative. So the way initiative works, I just draw a card, and that's what we go on. So in the same order that we've been using, Eggle, you have a 4 of spades. Jan, you have a 3 of hearts. Edmund, you have a 10 of clubs. Uh-oh. Well, no. I'm pretty sure in combat, the club does not mean complication. And then Bress, you've got a 2.
Jeez.
And finally, the enemies have a 6. Okay. So it'll be Edmund first, and then the bad guys, and then Eggle, Jan, and Bress. So Edmund first. These cluster hornets burst out right in front of you. You know that these things form a cloud, and it's going to take a little while to beat them down, but it is possible.
Okay, so can I just first say I'm very glad that I won any initiative things this round, unlike the last game.
Yeah.
But I'm going to turn around and say, close the door, and then I'm going to swing my weapon at the bees.
All right. By the way, I do have a picture of these bees. I'll just go ahead and show you now. So this is what we're looking at. These big old nasty segmented hornet things.
Yeah, bee drills. I throw a Pokeball.
Level 100, not rare candy.
Yeah, they're megaformed.
So then you're swinging at these guys.
Yeah, I got an 8.
An 8? That does beat their parry score, so give me some damage.
Okay. 10.
10? That does hit. It's not a raise, so they're shaken, but it does hit them. Yeah, you basically slash through these things and they burst out into 2 smaller swarms, and they immediately, one of them starts swarming around you, and the other one starts just attacking the walls. Inside, those of you who are inside can hear the walls. They're really rattling under the force of these hornets. So, They are going to attack. And the nature of... So they are a swarm, which means that they hit automatically. So they're going to deal 2d6 damage against our friend Edmund Hightower.
Good luck.
They got a 4, so they definitely failed. There's just too much armor. There's too much. And then the other ones are going to try and find a way through the walls of the cabin. So what I'm going to do first is roll a d10 to determine what the toughness of the walls is. And it'll get a +2 because you guys spent time building up the barricades. So I got a 5, so that's a 7 total. Isn't a bad toughness at all. And then I'm going to roll to see if they break through the wall. And they got a 5, which is less than 7, so they did not break through. They and then nothing. And still in the background, tra-la-li-lay, not safe today. And this elf is like giddy that these hornets are attacking. So, now it is Eggle.
Well, at this point, my main concern are the woman and child that are going crazy and like freaking out in the middle of the hut. What I think will work based on my upbringing, what I was taught, is what are they called? Cluster hornets do not like smoke. So I would...
But actually, I had forgotten. I needed to make a spirit check for them to recover from shaken before they could act at all. So let me do that really quick because you may have like a bonus or something. But their spirit die is pretty sick. So yeah, so they did recover. So they did attack. All that happened. So go ahead and do your smoke thing.
I think that they are averted to smoke. So I would pull out a torch, light it, and then suffocate it to create a cloud of smoke inside the cottage, to fill the cottage with smoke to keep them from coming in.
Okay. I'm going to call that a trick, which is it's a combat option that you have available to you, and it seems to me like it would be more of a smarts trick or something.
Okay.
What's your smarts score like?
D6.
D6. Okay. Yeah, then go ahead and give me a smarts check.
All right, that exploded.
Nice.
So that was a 7. And then my wild was a 4.
So what's the total?
7.
All right. So 7 is a success. It doesn't have a raise, but what this means is that the cluster hornets have a -2 to their parry until their next action. So they're feeling really sluggish from all this smoke that's been blowing around. And to be clear, it's the smaller swarm that's attacking the walls, not the swarm that's attacking Edmund right now.
Right.
Cool. All right. So then Jan, I think, is next.
Okay. So I was at the door, and I hadn't had a chance to act yet, so the door's open still, right?
All right.
Okay, so I can look out. Can I attack and then close the door? Is closing the door a free action, or does that count as another action?
We can call it a move action, because you have an action and a move. And so, to paint this picture a little more clearly for you, the hornets still didn't fly through the door because they're not intelligent beasts. They're just kind of like, they did that sort of thing that bees or flies do whenever they're up against a window. They're like, and then they just moved along the window until they found an opening. And in this case, they haven't found the door yet, but they're getting really close.
Okay, so this is going to seem weird, but I guess I'm going to shoot at them with my bow, because it's my higher attack.
They're big, and it's a pretty thick cloud of them too, so it's not a bad strategy.
Okay, so my plan is to shoot real quick and then slam the door closed.
Okay.
So I'm trying to protect Edmund, so I'm shooting at that swarm.
Sure.
I got a 2 and a 1, so I'm going to spend a penny.
All right.
I got an 8 on my 8
Nice.
and a 5, so 13.
13, so that's 2 raises, so you get to add +2 to your damage.
Cool. So 6 on that. First one, I'm going to roll my wild die before I roll my exploding.
Sure.
And a 3. So now I'm rolling my exploding and a 3. So 9.
9.
Plus 2, 11.
Your archery is 2d6, right?
Right. Okay, so 3. Hold on. What did I say?
I think you still have one more roll.
Okay. Well, I lost count where I was.
So you had a 6 and then a 9 total from the exploded die, and then you had a 4, I think? Or was it a 2?
Might have been a 2. We'll go with 2 because I don't remember.
Okay, so then roll your other die.
And a 6. So, and a 5. So 11 for that plus 9.
20.
20.
20 is legitimate damage. You totally decimated one of you, like. Yeah. So basically, what happened?
Oh wait, 22. 22.
22.
Yeah, because plus 2
plus
for
2 damage. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so you shoot off into this cloud of hornets, and you manage to score like 3 or 4 of them in one shot, and the rest of them just immediately they dissipate off into the distance.
So as it happens, so I yell out, "Thread the needle," and then I slam the door.
Awesome. Okay. So then now it is Bress's turn.
So hornets behind me, collar in front of me.
That's right. And I will say, the collar is looking pretty spry, considering that you shot it in the shoulder earlier.
I'm sure it's probably doing just fine. And they got the hornets. Is the collar close enough for me to run up and try and hit her?
Absolutely, yeah. It would take a movement action, but you could definitely do it.
Okay, then yeah. That's what I'm doing. I exploded on my D10. 13.
Nice to hit. That definitely hits. Give me some damage.
Exploded on my D4, 3 on my D8, so that's 7 to 9.
9 total. That does hit. It does not hit with a raise, but it does hit. So the enemy is shaken.
And that's my go.
So that is the end of the initiative order. So now we will draw again. And Eggle, you've got a 2. Sorry. Ooh, Jan's got a joker. Jan's got a yoker. We've got Edmund with a king. Is that it? Yeah. And Bress with a 9.
Club.
Finally, the bad guys have a 9 also. We're going to go ahead and say that.
9 of clubs.
Right,
That
yeah.
doesn't matter in battle.
Oh, this is battle.
Yeah, it doesn't matter in battle, but we're going to go ahead and say that a heart will take precedence over a club. So the bad guys will go before Bress. So what we're looking at is, I guess first of all it would be Edmund, and then the bad guys, and then Bress, and then Eggle, and then Jan can jump in whenever he wants to. So, Jan, would you like to go first?
Edmund, you go first.
Okay, so Edmund, what do you got?
Well, the bees are like at the door, right?
They're also swarming. Well, the ones at the door have actually been dissipated, but the ones that are swarming around you are still there.
I thought he shot the ones around me.
No, he shot the ones at the wall, right?
No.
Got the ones around Edmund.
Ah, okay, then yeah, the ones at the wall are the ones that are still there.
Okay, well then I'm gonna run and shield bash them to the wall.
Oh, dang. Okay.
I tried looking up real quick the rules on that, but I couldn't find anything. So
I don't think there's anything on shield bashing, but improvised weapons are just a -1 to your fighting when you attack, and they're also a -1 to your parry for the rest of the round.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay. I got 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 15, 14. I got 14 on my attack.
Nice. All right. So that's a success with 2 raises.
And then I just use my strength, right?
So with a shield bash, let's call it a strength plus D4.
Okay. And do I also use a wild?
Hold on just a second. So you will use a wild die, but I'm going to call a shield a medium weapon, and that means it's a strength plus D6.
Okay, so I need to...
And he gets his +2, right?
Correct.
What's the +2 for?
Because you got 2 raises.
Oh, yeah. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 damage.
17 damage? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you definitely destroy these customers. You take like 6 or 7 of them with your shield, and then the rest are like, I don't know, guys. And they fly away. And then still in the background, the caller has stopped drumming, but it's like dancing around, and it's weird because it's a little thing, like it's childlike, but there is no way to tell whether this thing is a male or a female. It's perfectly poised between the 2 of them, and it's like I said, it's not dancing around on the drum anymore, but it's still chanting with its cries. It's like, ow, 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 ow. And then it's going to, so wait, we've got the 9 of clubs, or 9 of hearts is next. And I think that's the caller. Okay.
Well, okay, hold on now. Jumping in.
All right.
If I throw open the door, that's a move action. And then is the caller within range of my bow?
Yeah, definitely. It would be like, I don't know, 20 or 30 feet to get to this thing. So you could definitely attack without a penalty.
Without a penalty? Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to take... Okay, so and then on attack, can I shoot it twice, or I can only attack once with the same weapon?
You can only attack once unless you do a multi-action penalty, and then you can attack twice, but it's a -2 to each attack.
Okay, that's what I'm going to do, though, because of my Joker giving me a +2 to...
Good point. Yeah, so it negates it.
Okay. So I'm kicking open the door regardless, so Jan throws it open because he heard Edmund squish the hornets. So he kicks it open and yells out, "Breast duck!" And I got a 6 on my wild dice, so rolling that again, and a 3, so 9 for the first. We'll do the first one first. So a 9.
So 9 hits.
Okay. And then it's 4. Okay, I got a explosion. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 for damage.
13 damage. Yeah, that hits too. So it was already shaken, so now it is shaken with 2 wounds.
Okay, and then the second arrow follows right after.
Nice.
Kill it dead.
I got a 7.
7. That does hit.
And 6.
6. 6 just barely misses. So your arrow, like, you're shooting at it, and it would be a hit. It would be a hit right between its stupid little eyes. While it's throwing a fit, it actually throws such a fit that it jumps up and spins around in a tiny ball.
Hold on just a second. I'm going to use a Bentley.
All right.
Okay, I got a 6 on my first roll, and another 6, and a 3. So the first one is 15. The second dice is a 3. Wild die is a 3. So 18.
18? Oh, man. All right, so you hit this thing, and it does... actually, wait a second. What do you remember what you rolled the first time?
No.
17.
I think it was like a 7.
Well, that was for my attack. The damage. The
The
damage.
damage was 17.
Yeah. Okay. Then yeah, I mean you. So you kill this caller. Tell me how it happens.
All right. So I kick the door open, and because Mutt knows I'm attacking, he rushes out between my legs and jumps over the bonfire, and I yell for Breast the duck, and I don't know if he really ducked because it looked like Jan landed on his back as he ducked. So I think Mutt was knocking him out of the way for these 2 arrows that came one after the other, and like they would have split each other. They were so good, right in line. So the first one hit him, or right in the sternum, and he kind of looks down at it, and then the next one splits that arrow and goes right through him.
All right. So this collar, it stops drumming, and it's standing there, and then it just like lumps down, but it doesn't fall on the drum because the drum actually disappears, and it falls on the ground, but instead of staying there, it like sinks halfway into the ground to where it almost looks like it's rooted. And in the distance, you hear this yipping, and it's the wolf apes. They're yipping. But the yipping turns from one of like, we want blood, to one of like, oh no, oh no, oh no, and then it very quickly fades into the distance. And the same quiet that happened at dusk settles over the Blackwood. And you guys have won the day.
Huzzah!
Congratulations, guys.
One more thing.
Do what? Yeah, go ahead.
I want to go. He said he sinks into the ground and sort of turns into a root.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go light it on fire.
All right. Yeah, so you go over and you set that sucker on fire. He combusts just like dry wood. It is very obviously skin, but he combusts just like dry wood. He even smells like it.
Alright, I'm gonna play my flute while that's going on.
Does that do anything for the wood in our necks?
Do what?
Does that do anything for the branches?
It does not. They're still there. And man, I wish I would have had my turn, because I would have totally soaked the shit out of that damage and we would have gone on for a lot longer. But anyway, the woman in the cottage, she's like, wait, I feel something. What happened?
Killed it.
And
Killed it dead.
I guess there's really nobody in the cottage right now, is there?
Okay, well, yeah, after Jan saw he hit it, he whoops and runs out, and Mutt comes back to him and kind of stands up on his back paws, and they're kind of dancing around and like in a circle, and Mutt's like, or Jan's holding his front paws, kind of dancing around because he's a tall dog. So Jan's just out in their middle and on his own, just looks like he's trying to hold something up and dancing around.
All right, cool. That's awesome. No, so the woman then, she's all alone in the cabin. She's only got her son and the caravan driver. And so she's like, oh, well, she like looks at the caravan driver and then she runs outside and she's like, is everything okay?
Yeah, we managed to finish off their attack. No problem.
Really? But it's so soon.
I told you we'd protect you.
Well, oh, thank you so much. She actually faints.
Pick her up and carry her inside, and lay her down on that bed of straw.
Sounds good. All right, so we will go ahead and end our session here tonight. So for those of you who have watched tonight, thank you very much. It was a lot of fun. I hope you guys had a good time watching us. And we will reconvene 2 weeks from now, so be sure to tune in then. And until then, keep it fast, fun, and furious.